2.
Just talking to you. Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious, actually.
Whoa. Hello.
My whole face is covered up by this microphone.
So it's just like our podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Feel at home. Welcome. As the Rotor Turns. This is the opinion of Carlos.
Trish.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey, birthday buddy.
buddy.
Hey, birthday buddy. I got Patricio here. And Dan and Anjee.
Hello.
Hello.
We're on their show.
Welcome.
It was super awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, no. So, get the disclaimer out of the way. This is my, Carlos's opinion, not the opinion of the rescue company one or the opinion of anybody else's job who's here today. Well, maybe Patricia's job. I know your boss.
Well, you and my boss started doing stuff without me over the weekend.
Well, we dialogued.
We did.
We dialogue. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And definitely not the opinion of the wonderful and very handsome Dr. Benjamin Avo, who is handsome as hell.
Mm-hmm.
None of the rescue company one. Yeah, absolutely. And anybody that hires the rescue company one.
Correct.
And like we always say, if anything I say offends you, well, there you go, folks.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Yeah. And
hey, don't let your kids listen to this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
People. There's about to be some real talk going
There's
on.
always that first timer that lets their kid listen to it. And again, Jamie's ass was just here, and it looks wonderful.
We are out of cameras. If not, we would totally have the ass cam.
I'm pretty sure we all have cameras on our phones.
Oh yeah,
we do.
We should post a picture of Jamie's butt up there for the world to see. It's probably illegal, like in 10 states.
her butt.
Yeah. Oh, that thing's ridiculous.
I need to see it. It's what I'm aiming for.
She'll come back in.
We're all aiming for that.
I have like a true white girl booty, and I just don't want that anymore. I would like to.
Yeah, you would like some junk in the trunk.
Yes.
Well, it's 2021. Yes. The white girl booty is actually coming back up now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Where exactly did that memo come out?
No.
What does that mean? Coming back up?
Never in. Never.
The PAWGs.
The what?
But that's fat ass white girl.
No, fat ass.
Yeah, fat ass is a good. Like she's saying she got no ass, basically.
Do you have an ass or do you not have an ass?
Like it's a little rounded, but like I want it like up. Like it needs, like I'm getting a little older.
Wants the bubble.
I'm like working with bands and like I'm, doing
the twerking class,
doing all of it, just to lift it up a little bit.
You need to do some of that twerking class, man.
I mean, there's no complaints at home, but look,
I'm not helping over here. I'm getting ready to order.
He's like, maybe 20 wings would help that ass.
So we are at the wonderful Johnny's Filling Station, which is a local Orlando legend.
This place is really cool. I've never been here.
Oh yeah, it used to be a shave ice place.
Look, it's too far for us to drive when we're just trying to drink and get home. And
we know we live like 7 minutes away from each other. It's not that far.
Yeah. So we'll be riding with Patricio.
Had to go on I-4 to get here.
So
takes me over an hour.
A few things to talk about today. So obviously tomorrow is 9/11. So we're going to talk about everybody's experience where they were at on 9/11, because I think it's kind of like our Kennedy time. You talk to every old person, like, where were you when Kennedy got shot, and they could tell you exactly what they were doing that day.
That's true.
So
time kind of stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things that is for us is like that moment,
Yeah.
and that kind of changed things a little bit. And it's 20 years tomorrow.
Man, it's so true. You never
20
talk to
years.
anybody that
I
says,
can't
I
believe
don't
it's
remember
been
what I
20
was
years.
doing. Nobody says that.
It's 20 years,
Yeah.
man. And then talk a little bit a few things that happened this week, which is some of them like pretty funny. Some of it is I was crying my eyes out the other day. Tell you about that.
That is true.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
And I'm sorry
You're
to
not
make
making any
you.
tears coming
I'm
tonight,
probably
are
going to
you?
cry
Hopefully
live.
We'll
not,
see.
man. Hopefully not. So it's
Well, I don't mean to make you cry even more, but Jason Marquez is in the digital green room right now. So whenever you want me to bring him in,
you bring him in.
okay.
Hi,
There he is
Jason.
right there. He's
Hey,
so
what's
handsome.
going on, guys?
This is my brother, everybody.
Oh, we can't hear
Yeah,
you.
and he is from
Oh.
First Response Training Group.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Jason is a self-made man, which I let you tell some of his stories, man, which is unbelievable because he should be dead. And
But you're not.
but it's
that's
probably one of the most trusted people by most fire chiefs in the area here. If it's a fire department that never had outside training, Jason's the guy that provides that. He's one of those people who's just, very, very humble human being, and it's just awesome. And if you need car detailing and stuff, I'll let you tell you where he does because he does that too.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a full-on all-around
Wow.
hustler. Yeah.
Get
Okay.
that side hustle in, right?
So, but Jason has one of the most unique 9/11 stories ever that you can hear, and it's.
I thought we put our phones on silent,
so-
people.
It's the emergency bypass for my kid. Sorry.
Oh,
Fair and valid.
Yeah.
Fair and valid.
Oh.
So, hey Jay, before we get into your story, we got to get into some of these ridiculous 9/11 stories that all our guys have. First of all, Amanda won because where were you on 9/11, Amanda?
I was in 7th grade science class.
Oh, hello.
Suddenly I'm way older than I thought I
Oh
was.
man, it's so funny shit.
I'm pretty sure I need to pick up my tombstone tomorrow.
Dan was picking up his
Yeah.
kids Dan was picking up his kids from soccer practice.
When they were in the 7th grade.
Yeah, they were the same grade. Oh man.
I mean, he did just say he graduated in '89, and then my first thought was, "Oh, I was one."
Oh yeah, awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah. So
You're welcome.
Thank you.
hey, baby, where were you at 9/11?
I was doing clinicals at the hospital.
For nursing school, or were you in LPN school?
No, I was already finished with LPN school. I was in RN clinicals.
Nice. Patricia, where were you on 9/11?
I was in 10th grade chemistry class.
Holy shit, man.
I was in 10th
passing
grade.
meds. I was giving
10th grade
narcotics.
chemistry class, and our teacher's cell phone would not stop going off.
Oh,
And the thing was, his brother worked at the World Trade Center.
Oh shit.
So he
Oh.
kept ignoring the call because he was in class. And then finally, someone called the school to tell him, like, hey, you need to pick up your phone. And it was his wife. And he finally picks up the phone, and his eyes just like bulged out of his head. And the second he turned on the TV, we saw the second plane hit the tower.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's crazy. I'll tell you my story here in a second.
wow.
Dan and Anjee, you guys have your own podcast. We were on your podcast a few weeks ago.
Yes,
yeah,
you
it's
were. It was
almost
awesome. It was
Yeah.
fun.
We had a great time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you. It was fun.
You want to tell people about your podcast along with your 9/11 story?
Sure. So our podcast is called It's All Fine and Danjee. Get it? I will never forget, like everyone else, I was at work. I'm an IT guy in my day job, and I was listening to like talk radio, and they said a plane hit one of them, and we all thought it was like a Cessna or a little airplane. So I went to the conference room and sort of jerry-rigged an antenna to the little TV we had in there. It was all staticky, and just as I got it working, you saw the other plane hit the other building.
That's crazy.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally insane.
Oh goodness. Yeah. So I was actually at home. I was a stay-at-home mama, and I
Yeah.
had my 2-year-old at home, and my other one was in school. And I was watching the news while I was like, cleaning up, doing whatever moms do at home, and saw it all unfolding. Actually,
Wow.
it was
Yeah.
it happening and freaking out.
Oh.
And you want to go get your kid from school, and but you try not to be in panic mode and just let's just see what's going on. But yeah, it was imprinted in your mind, like kind of like I was in 4th grade whenever the
Challenger.
space shuttle, the Challenger, blew up,
Yeah.
and we were watching it on,
Yep.
TV,
On TV.
in class,
Me
and
too.
the
Wow.
teacher had to explain
I don't
it
remember
to
what
us.
grade
I don't think I was alive yet.
No, I'm
No,
pretty sure
you weren't.
I'm pretty sure you were developing that sperm as we talked about that.
Yes.
You know what's crazy is I was it's my second year at the fire almost third year at the fire department, and I was actually taking half a day off. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. It was the craziest thing.
Crazy, right?
Sean Newey Castro was working was working till like 1:00 in the afternoon because I was in a building construction class at Valencia, and for the fire department.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy goes, "Hey, something just hit the World Trade Center," and we put it on. And the guy that Bill Dober was his name. He's a firefighter at Reedy Creek. So he was teaching our class, and he's talking about like building construction and the expansion of, the metal under heat and all that stuff. And we watched the second plane hit. And then at that moment in time, I was me and Jerry Keefe, who's retired as a chief. He was a lieutenant then. He's sitting next to me, and like all of a sudden he goes, "We got to go back to work." And we went back, and it's the one day in the whole city, everything in the city of Orlando shut down that day.
Yeah.
Everybody I had to leave. And if I don't know if you remember, Channel 9 used to be on South Street.
Oh yeah.
So the Channel 9, they had them leave except for the people that were like on the news talking, man. It was one of it's like they had the armored trucks going around the city and stuff,
Getting people out of
It's like
cities.
a real Red Dawn moment, isn't
yeah,
it? Like,
everything was done,
seriously.
man. And
My clinicals did not end early.
nah,
Well,
but
not for you.
I had to stay at school
The
all
world
day.
didn't stop for you.
so what's insane is that obviously my son was still cooking at that moment in time. So my ex was still pregnant with him, and she was working.
Still cooking.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought like he was cooking
Yeah,
breakfast or
yeah,
something.
So he was she's stuck at the hospital. She was working at the hospital then. And it's a full like turnaround moment for me because this is the thing that happened this week. So this week, so my son was getting set to get deployed. I won't say where they were going to go, but apparently that changed this week. Like he got a call that basically like, "Hey, we leave in the next 24 hours
Oh my god.
undisclosed location," and so he had to pack up all his stuff and leave from where they were leaving from.
It's scary.
I know, man. I was bawling my eyes out.
It's scary.
Oh.
Especially on the eve of going into
yeah.
9/11 and everybody's those feelings are just high and heightened, and you just don't know what's going
bawling.
on.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm almost crying right now. Like the dude, he's just bawling my eyes out because he's "Hey, Dad, I gotta go. Just gotta make sure I got an international plan and all this stuff. Maybe I'll be able to talk to you, maybe not." And where I go, where you
said,
going?
"Do you have the WhatsApp?"
Yeah, that's what he
We
said.
can communicate through that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then, like the next day, I go, "You haven't left yet?" He goes, "Oh no, we're leaving today." So today they just departed.
Wow.
But
and you don't know where.
You don't know where. I don't know where.
But it's just so good that he can communicate with you
Yeah.
now. Back in the day when you had to write a letter.
Yeah.
Now you have that
Yeah.
immediate. So at least you have that communication leading up to knowing
Yeah.
when he's leaving. And kind of the whereabouts, even though you probably don't.
It's crazy because then when he called yesterday, I go, "Hey man, so you haven't left yet?" He goes, "Oh no, Dad, I haven't left yet." I was thinking that he talks because he's an idiot. So
how old is he?
He's 19.
Yeah.
Dad, this ain't. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. It's just like be like gone for like 3 months on vacation, really. Well, I just got to carry a gun.
That's a good outlook.
That's
I mean, hey, that's a positive way to look at it. Yeah.
Full on stupid.
One thing I remember about that day, though, is that for me at least, when the first plane hit, this is going to sound stupid now, but we all kind of wondered, was it an accident if you didn't see the plane?
Yeah.
Of course
Maybe
we thought it was an accident.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That is really stupid, Dan. Good job.
Thank you. But the moment the second plane hit, it was like that was the moment we all wondered,
absolutely,
what is going on? We're under attack.
You were ready. Red Dawn. Like it came back in. Is that what it's called?
Red Dawn.
With
Red
Patrick
Dawn.
Swayze, right?
Great movie. Yes.
But seriously, that is like for me. That was like,
Wolverines.
okay, where am I going? What's you had like these action steps of who you're getting with,
who's doing this,
who are the people that are going to protect me,
and remember
that's what you thought.
When the other plane hit the Pentagon or whatever, then everyone started wondering what else was going to be hit. Like we didn't know when it was going to end.
I actually had family living in Chicago at the time, and the second the second plane hit the World Trade Center, they immediately started evacuating the Willis or the Sears Tower in Chicago, and like a lot of the high rises in the downtown area, because they were afraid and no one knew what was going on.
Right.
And it was funny how you were saying, like, the means of communication. That day, for some odd reason, like I said, I was in high school, and I brought my boombox that day. So in every period that we were going to, we all just kept watching the news, and then I had the radio on because the teacher wasn't putting the thing loud enough, and
so you could listen to the news. Yeah,
exactly. So at this point, we're not listening to any music; it's just the news. And at lunchtime, like, I had never seen a collective of teenagers around a boombox as quiet as a cricket. I mean, you could have heard a cricket cut cheese at that point. And I remember, because at that time, Patrick Air Force Base was still fully active.
Yeah. So
at one point we saw jets fly over. Yeah. This was in Kissimmee, and we saw jets fly over us, and we're like, "Oh shit! Holy crap! This might be World War III."
So a few things that we to get to Jason's story, because again, his stories is gonna give you goosebumps. On the 9/12 was the day I was supposed to ride along with Bayflight. I was supposed to go do a ride along at the helicopter, and they obviously got canceled. and I didn't go. This is why my first day at work was the first time I ever rode in a helicopter. First day I ever been on a helicopter. Yeah, so,
exciting.
So I never did a ride along or anything. But when I showed up to work my first day at Bayflight, the building next to us was still cordoned off and all taped off. And like I was like, man, what happened in the building next door? And he goes, that's the flight school where these guys went to.
Oh my God!
They were in Sarasota, so our stuff used to be, we were parked right next to where the guys went to that flight school. So it was crazy for that. But Jason, before you get into your story, if you're there, is he there? So,
yeah, I'm here.
Hey, tell people, man, about what you do and stuff like that, because I love the story, man, as far as like how Jason has gotten to be the success story that he is today, because it's truly one of those stories where you have nothing. Like you can be down to bare bones, and then has made himself, so it's an awesome story. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, thanks for having me, Carlos.
No worries, man.
I appreciate being here. So about 9/11, I never really talk about it too much. But I started my career in New York. I worked for New York City EMS. I started in 2000. I went to EMT school in 99. I graduated. Back then, you could go to EMT school at 17, but you can't take your boards till you're 18. So I went to EMT school at 17, became an EMT at 18, got hired with a company called Metropolitan, and then Metropolitan was contracted by New York City EMS, and then that's how I started my career. Then I moved to Florida in 2005. I went to fire school here. And then I got hired with Health Central EMS. Then I went to medic school, and Carlos was my medic instructor.
Man, hey, Jason, you brought that up, so I'm about to tell people about this. So Jason's class comes in, and how many people did you have in your class, Jason, when you started?
It was like 22, 23.
Hey, we get this class of like 22 people started Jason's class, and he graduated with how many people, Jason? 4 people.
Oh,
man, it was a bad time in my life. Not really. Jason's one of the few, and it's different now, and Jason runs his own school, so he knows what I'm talking about. But these guys, those 4 that graduated school, earned their paramedic. Like, they earned it. I didn't give them shit. And and Jason's brother owned the school, so like he didn't have the opportunity to even fucking fart wrong in class before he got thrown out.
Oh yeah.
And that dude, like, I tell people, I say there's many classes that I've been through that I've taught and stuff where that class, they earned it. Like, it was a rough class, and that was they passed. They're paramedics for real.
Yeah.
So Go ahead, Jason. Sorry, baby.
Yeah. So I started my career in New York. I worked for New York City EMS from 2000 to 2005 when I came to Florida. And then, that whole venture started, would open up, the other school, and, that didn't work out. So since that didn't work out, I was working for Health Central EMS at the time. Then I got hired with Rural Metro. I did that for a little while, became an EMS captain. Then they shipped me to Sumter County, and I was out there as an EMS captain for a while. And then I decided to open up my own school in 2011, 2012. And at the time, my wife was pregnant with my first son. And I remember going home, and I told my wife, she wasn't working, and I told her I quit my job. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, "What do you mean you quit? We're having a baby." And I said, I feel compelled to open up my own school, and I'm going to quit. And I did. I quit. I opened up my own school, and the rest is history. The school took off, and right now we're the largest private school in Central Florida for teaching EMTs, paramedics, and nursing.
And the top pass rate in the state.
Wow.
We've had the highest pass rate for 9 consecutive years.
The highest pass rate in the state. And for Angie, you guys don't know this. This is a big deal in the state of Florida.
Yeah, we're not in this world, but it sounds very impressive.
So not only is he like in the top pass rate in the state of Florida, and you had to look some of these numbers up before they having Jason on. Everybody else is like in the 60, and correct me if I'm wrong there, Jason, like 54, 40 percentile like of pass rates. Like, Jason's in like the 95th percentile. So 95% of the people in it are scoring higher than most schools.
Wow.
I guess is the best way to explain it. So his students score not only pass but score higher than anybody else.
So they pass, but they also comprehend it.
They absolutely know it.
Well, it was a hard battle in the beginning. Fire chiefs. You got to get fire chiefs to feel comfortable with dealing with a private entity when they've been dealing with a college for so long is a hard battle, right? So you got to prove that you're stable. You got to prove your wealth. You got to prove that you're here for the long haul. So I've been very fortunate and blessed that, the building when I started the school, we were in 6,000 square feet. And now I purchased the building we're in, and we're in 20,000 square feet, and we own the building.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been a huge blessing. And now we conduct training for the largest to the smallest department in Central Florida. So it's been
Jason,
a huge blessing.
Oh, I'm sorry. So how do you earn the trust of those fire chiefs? Like, what are you doing to just kind of present it to them and let them know that, hey, you want students that are graduating from my school?
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie, man. If I didn't see this with my own eyes, Angie, I saw a fire chief come into a paramedic class, and this fire chief goes, "Hey, I need 2 people to send to fire school. They're about to be paramedics. Which 2 are you going to send?" And Jason goes, "Those are my top 2 over there." And that guy told those guys they had jobs, and he paid for their fire school, and they're Kissimmee firefighters today.
Oh, that is
That's a true story. That's a true
awesome
story. That's like the quality of people that come out of there. And when we started the company, Jason, we didn't have a home. We didn't have a place to do anything. So like me and Jason shared a desk at his school and at his office, and that's how we have gone to be able to be the rescue company that we are today because of First Response Training Group. And every time I meet people, I always tell them, I say, this was born out of First Response Training Group because that's where we were at when we were able to, be, the company that we are today.
Very cool.
Well, I owe Los too. I always saw it. He's who made me the medic I am today. So, and I take a lot of that, and I use that in the classroom to teach, and a lot of his methods and how he did things with our class, and that's kind of helped us become successful. The other thing is flexibility, right? As a college, for a college to do a class or put on a class, or for a college to do anything, they have to go through a lot of red tape, right? They got a board of directors, a board of commissioners. They got to talk to the deans. Where with us, we have a lot more flexibility as a private school. So a fire chief could call me tomorrow and say, "Hey, I need 30 guys to go to medic school, and they need to start tomorrow and graduate in 6 months." And I'll tell them, "All right, chief, make sure they're here tomorrow. I'll have them done in 6 months."
Cut through the red tape, yeah.
Right.
Well, Dan and Anjee, but he is accredited as a degree granting institution. He's accredited as a private college.
Yeah.
So you can get a degree when you come through there too. You can get a nursing degree when you come through there. You can get a paramedic degree when you come through there. And that's like, so yeah, he's a private school with private entity, but he has to go through the same thing that every college, everybody has to go through.
Yeah.
Right.
Accreditation wise.
And the irony in that is that I have a 9th grade education, right?
Yep.
So
we were just talking about that though, that like with our kids, it's like that doesn't matter. If you have the drive to get to where you want to be, that that college degree is goes so far.
It's almost like trade school would be more valuable than regular school.
I mean, it's important. It's important, and don't get me wrong. I think a degree is super important to have, and I think that everybody should pursue their degrees. I'm an advocate for it. However, when I got into the field, degrees wasn't as prevalent as it is in today's days.
Street experience.
Right?
Street experience.
Right. So back when I started, it was becoming an EMT and a paramedic to us was a way out, right? So it was a way out of us being able to get a job and support our families. And we weren't presented with the opportunities to go to your A1 colleges. So when I got to Florida, I realized like New York City is different. New York, you want to become an EMT or a paramedic, you go to the fire department and they send you to their training. And then when I got to Florida, there was no private schools doing that. So that's what stemmed the private school, right? And then to get the trust of the fire chiefs, and that comes with longevity, right? Our first 5 years, we had to prove ourselves, and I understood that.
Absolutely.
So once we proved our worth, and the smaller departments came first, and then the larger departments came, and then we just kept going from there. And it's not me. A lot of people think, hey, what did you do? And truly, it's not me. It's people like Carlos who support me. It's the community. It's my instructors. It's my admin staff. It's my mom who works here full time.
Oh yeah, mom works there.
So it's the people that I've surrounded myself with that have allowed me to become successful. And then it's the fire chiefs and the people in the community that believe in what I do and how I do it, and they openly support me. So
it's interesting though. When Jason quits his job and he starts the school, his mom, Jason, sister, brother-in-law, their kids, Jason's pregnant wife, all live in an apartment.
Wow.
All live in one apartment.
One apartment.
Wow.
One house,
yeah. And I mean, you talking about like
sacrifice.
You've got to make it. You know what I mean? You got to make it, and it's awesome, man. It's a success story, and it's again first response training group.
We started first response with $23,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. You walk into that school now, it's like I steal stuff every time I go in there. I take things everywhere. I mean, it's beautiful, a beautiful place, in there. So, but Jason, 9/11 hit, man. What were you doing that day?
So when 9/11, I was 18 or about to be 19, and I was a rookie working for New York City EMS. I probably had roughly close to a year on the job. My tour started at 07:30. And we would go get coffee every morning, right? You go to the bodega, you get some coffee, you get a bacon and a cheese sandwich, and you get ready to work, right? So our first call we got dispatched to was a chest pain patient at a nursing home. And we got there. I mean, after we checked out the truck, got breakfast, and got to our first call. It was probably close to 8 o'clock,
Were you a BLS unit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's funny though, like basic life support stuff.
Thank you. I was
New
gonna
York,
ask for that.
in New York, and versus advanced life support so there's more basic life support units than there are advanced life support units. But an EMT in New York can work a code like a cardiac arrest or somebody dead just about as good as any paramedic can anywhere else.
Yeah, New York City is a BLS state. Well, for the most part, meaning that there's more BLS than there is ALS. So BLS units get dispatched to the traumas, to the shootings, the stabbing, all the good calls,
Yeah.
So there's no time for BS in New York for that.
Yes, absolutely.
The medics get dispatched to the, headaches and the toe pain. And, so, back in New York, it was like, why you want to be a medic,
Yeah.
So we got dispatched to that chest pain call at a nursing home, and it was in the Bronx. And I never forget, man. And we get the patient, we get him on the stretcher. And then the first plane had just hit, and the radios are going crazy. Everybody's going nuts. You hear the radios, the traffic. the dispatcher at the time was a good friend of the family. So now, paint the picture for you. My entire family, I'm the youngest in EMS out of my entire family. Everybody is older. They got into it before me. So I was the baby involved in EMS. Now, this dispatcher is part of my family. So the dispatcher is part of my family, my uncles, my cousins, my brother, everybody's working. So we're all on duty that day.
Your pops was on NYPD. Was
Yeah,
he working that day too?
He was an NYPD detective. No, he had just retired. He retired.
Just retired. Yeah.
So the radio's going crazy, and the first call that came out was first it was a helicopter hit the World Trade Center. Yeah. Then it was a private Cessna plane hit the World Trade Center. Exactly. We didn't know what hit the World Trade Center, right? So we didn't think it was an attack. We just thought, somebody was flying a plane and lost control and hit the building, right? So when it came over as a helicopter or a Cessna, that's kind of like a fly hitting a windshield, right?
Ain't making that much fire.
Yeah, you're not gonna make that much damage, but everybody wanted to go. Yeah. So I called dispatch on the phone. I called him on the phone, and I'm like, "Hey, his name is Figgy." I was like, "Hey, Figgy, you need to send me." So I was like, "I gotta go. Like, if the world's falling apart, I need to be there."
And so you're sitting in the Bronx. Bronx is a close borough to Manhattan. So
we're like 20 minutes out, tops.
20 minutes away, yeah.
So lights and sirens. So mind you, I got this chest pain patient on my stretcher already, and I'm calling him because I didn't want to go transporting because I knew if I went transporting, I wasn't gonna get to 9/11, right? Yeah. I'm fucking transporting, and I'll be in the hospital for 30 minutes. By the time I get there, it's over.
Yeah.
So I got the patient in the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, man, I need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "Just wait a minute. We're trying to figure something out." So, so Figgy's like, "No, man, we're not sending you." He was like, "You're the youngest. Your mother would kill me if I sent you over there." So I was like, "Fig, man, either you send me or I'm going. So you figure it out." So we started taking the patient to the back of the rescue. At the time, we called them buses. So we're taking the patient to the back of the bus, and he calls me on the radio. And he's like, "I can't justify leaving you in the Bronx. You have to go. All units are being sent." So he was like, "Did you load up the patient yet?" I was like, "No, he's still in the hospital bed." So, the nursing home bed. So he was like, "All right, well, start heading to the World Trade Center." So I took that guy, put him back in the hospital bed. And I was like, "Hey, he's going to come pick you up in a little while."
So Jason, my apologies for interrupting. I just want to ask you one quick question. Like the term, all units responding, like what went through your head at that point when they said that term, like all units have to go?
It's funny you asked that, right? So yesterday or the day before I started watching, everybody was hitting me up about watching the Netflix 9/11 documentary.
Well, and the two French brothers thing, or
no, it's on Netflix, some special on Turning Point, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I watched that.
Yeah, it just came out.
So, I started watching it, and I had to stop because while I was 18, right? I didn't have the emotions I have today, right? So I didn't have the brain capacity that I have today. 18, you think you're Superman, and you don't process things the way you process them now. So watching Turning Point, it made me realize what was going on around me while I was at 9/11, if that makes sense, right? So I'm at 9/11, but I'm focused on what my job is. I'm not worried or thinking about all these other people around me that are being affected, So when they said all units, I mean, that's a normal Bronx thing. All units, you're going over here. All units, there's a shooting over there. So, when they said all units, it was just like, all right, we're going, right? So we put the patient back in. Dispatch sends another oncoming unit. There was a unit coming in service, and it was an ALS unit. So they were sending the ALS unit to get my patient, and they were sending me down to the World Trade Center. And I'd never been there. If you're born and raised in the boroughs, people think it's like being born and raised in Florida. How many times do you really go to Disney? So I never been to the World Trade Center. So we get dispatched, and we're flying down. The east side, the FDR Expressway. We get off the 3rd Avenue Bridge. We cross over the 3rd Avenue Bridge, and there's deadlock traffic. So we can't get by. It's just deadlock traffic. I mean, we're blaring the siren. Nobody's moving, and it's just deadlocked. So now I'm stressed out because I want to hurry up and get there. And now we're sitting in traffic. I wasn't driving. I was teching that day. And I hear a loud fire truck coming. I mean, this guy was blaring. And I look in the rearview mirror. He's coming full speed. A big fire truck, man. And he's coming full speed ahead. And I tell my partner, I was like, man, he's not going to stop. And he's like, he has to stop. We're all in traffic. I was like, he's not going to stop. And sure as hell, he never stopped. He plowed right through all those cars. So he's hitting cars and they're like flying in different directions, you know? So he stops at the intersection and he waves us behind him. So we pull up behind the fire truck and he escorted us all the way down. So we were told when we got there, everybody was parking in front of the World Trade Center, which 2020 hindsight, if we had to transport anybody, you ain't transporting anybody.
You ain't leaving there.
Right, because all of New York City is parked in front of the World Trade Center. So we parked right in front, and I never saw my ambulance again. That was the last time I saw it.
Just to stop you there, so my uncles are in the fire department. My brother Michael, at that time, my cousin Jimmy, and when if you were to look at the 1993 World Trade Center hit then. And you look at how the units are parked, and then you go look at how the units were parked on 9/11, it's identical. Like they were so used to going there, they would park in the same like spot. Am I right? Am I right about that, Jason?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to move my ambulance, I probably had to tell 100 fire trucks to move.
Yeah.
So everybody just piled up in front. So we get there, you know, and I'm like a kid. I'm 18, you know. And there's so much radio traffic going on that you can't ask nobody for anything, right? It was just chaotic, right? So we get there, we get attached to a triage team, and they tell us to start setting up triage inside one of the buildings. And at that point, the second plane had just hit. So when the second plane hit, it changed the dynamic of what everybody was doing, because at that point, it was no longer an accident. We knew that, you know, we're under attack, you know?
Yeah.
And that changed everybody's environment, everybody's mindset. That changed how everybody was moving. So we're setting up triage, and in my mind, I'm just like, why would we set up triage inside the building, you know? But that's what they told us to do, so that's what we did. And then it kept changing. Every minute we were getting told to do something different because it was constantly changing, right? It was something that was being evaluated on a consistent basis, and consistently, I believe they were making the right decisions to move us where we needed to move in order to render care and be safe. They told us if you hear 3 bells to run, because that means a building was going to come down. At one point, we were told not to go outside because there was people jumping, and those people were landing on firefighters. And they were killing them, right? So they were told us not to go outside. If you go outside, you know, you got to we had to put our hands on our partner's shoulders, and we had to walk looking up, and our partner had to walk looking straight. And that way, if something was falling, we could move our partner out the way.
Ain't that some shit? You ever heard something like this? I tell you, man.
What's so impressive to me is that you described how chaotic it was, but yet there was this organization that was changing as circumstances changed. Well, so that's very impressive.
You know, one thing that definitely to this day, I wasn't a firefighter. I always worked EMS, but it was like the never-ending line of firefighters running in and up. They were going straight in and upstairs, straight. I mean, it was nonstop. These guys and girls were going in and up, in and up, in and up. And they didn't have a fear. They didn't have a thought. They didn't have a glimpse. They knew that this is what had to happen, and that's what they were going to do, you know?
You ever seen the French guys documentary on 9/11?
I haven't.
So there's these two. It's on Amazon, and it's these two French filmmakers, and they were actually making a documentary on a brand new firefighter.
I have seen that.
They were riding with Rescue 3.
Yeah, it was Engine 7 Ladder 1
on that day.
Engine 7. They were
So
the one brother is at the trade center with the battalion chief. Now, when you look at the command section, so let me tell you, it's like a family business over there. When you look at the command center, that every chief that's at the command center had a brother going up as a climbing up into the tower. And that's some crazy thing. So every single chief that was there that day, you know. Go ahead,
So
Jason.
yeah, I have a brother, a blood
Yeah.
brother that we have the same mother, same father.
Yep.
And he's 10 years older than me. So he started EMS before me. So he's there too. I have an uncle who's my mother's brother. He's there too. I have a cousin who's married to her husband. He's there too. So my whole family was there. We all work EMS. Everybody was there. So, we're doing whatever we could do, whatever we could do to help, we're trying to get it done. But a lot of it was being done by the firefighters, right? They're going in, they're going out. Our job was set up triage patients, try to get people out, do whatever you can to get to the people that are there, that are hurt, treat them, get them out. That was our objective. At one point, you hear the radio traffic coming over that the command that was on the west side highway, which is they're miles away from us. They're saying that they see the building swaying. So we can't see that, right? If you look up at the building, you can't see it moving, right? So they're saying it's swaying back and forth, that they think it's going to come down. So they start trying to pull as many units out as possible. So we start running, and sure enough, the first building came down. So we start running, the first building comes down. And when that building came down, you would think it was a snowstorm in New York City.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, like, what was the sound and like what was the picture that you saw when the building came down?
So everybody went running, and it's crazy because that day was the clearest day in New York City. Like there wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Oh, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
You later.
So the building came down, and it was just like this big dark cloud that just covered New York City, and it looked like a snowstorm. It was just like a snowstorm. It was quiet. It was crazy to describe because if you look at a snowstorm in New York City, it quiets the city and it covers the city in this white smoke. And you see people with, snow all over themselves. And that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like it was the largest snowstorm in New York City. And everybody had this frantic look on their face. And everybody was terrified. The two largest buildings in New York City, one of them just collapsed. And you couldn't see anything. We were disoriented. And it's crazy because you fast forward now, I have a boat. And I was out on my boat in the Keys one day, and I was at Alligator Reef, and a storm came. And the storm came out of nowhere. It was like a beautiful day, man. And out of nowhere, the storm just showed up. And at the minute the storm came and the rain came and the cloud came, I got disoriented. I didn't know where I was at. And if I didn't have GPS, I wouldn't know how to have gotten out of there. And that day,
is you and Lou?
Yeah. And that day it reminded me of 9/11 because the cloud covered so much that you knew where you were before, but now you don't know where you're at. You're disoriented. So I didn't know where we were in New York City, right? So it was tough. And then after the buildings came down, we lost radio traffic. So we had no radio. It was silent. It was crazy because it went from the noisiest thing you've ever experienced
to the most
quietest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, Jason, that tower that's set on top of the World Trade Center, that's like the main repeater for most of the city.
Yeah,
so the radios and everything you use that tower, so everything went dead. That thing. Oh wow. Yeah.
So we lost radio.
That's something they bring out. Like I don't know if a lot of people know that information.
Oh, so this is the one thing, Jason, that I wanted to make sure. Like, so we were at the fire department watching the tower collapse, right? On our air packs, we have the air tank that we use to breathe has this thing called a pass device on it, which basically means if you stop moving, you pass out as a firefighter, something hits you, you stop moving, this thing starts beeping.
That was the loudest sound I've ever heard.
And it makes this beep, 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 beep. What's that?
And they do the wiggle to make it turn on.
Miguel Delgado says, "Got the goat in there."
Yeah. So
what is that? So other people can find you.
So somebody can find you if you're in there on you're incapacitated.
Yeah.
So like Jason describes that the most quiet thing you've ever heard your whole entire life, and then all of a sudden, like in unison, you're listening to all those beeps, 300 and some odd 43 beats, which is the amount of firefighters that died that day.
Oh my
so
God.
You imagine that in unison beeping like that, just going on. So we're at the fire department hearing this, and we go, those are all those pass devices, because they start with, this is a unique sound. It's a chirp, 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 and then they go dee, 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 and it's the loudest sound you ever heard when you have a whole shitload of them, people just not moving with those air tanks on,
And if you hear it and you know that's what it is, you
know exactly what it is. Yeah.
And even if you're used to hearing that many at the same time,
can you imagine?
Yeah, I wasn't a firefighter at the time, right? So that sound was very unique. And what it meant was to the other firefighters was that their brothers and sisters need help, right? So they took that, to heart, So we get sent back down. We were back in the mix of the World Trade Center. We didn't know what it was at the time. We're in a building, and we had no idea what this building is. Now, back then, the newest thing out at that time was Nextel.
Yeah.
So Nextel was the fad at that moment. Everybody had Nextel.
So for the millennials listening, so we used to have this cell phone, and you could do a walkie-talkie on it.
I miss those things.
Those things were awesome.
Yeah,
I miss them every day.
So those things,
Did everybody else hear your conversations? Did you just speak out loud?
No. Yeah.
Everybody had a speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the fun. That was part of the fun.
Right. So they
And
were
you just
new.
go beep, beep, and then just start talking.
Yeah. So the funny part was that those were new. That was new. The new thing out. So their repeater or their antenna was upstate somewhere. So they weren't affected. So Nextels were the only thing working at the time.
Sure, they work.
Wow, like a fallback network.
Right. So the crazy part was when Nextels came out, you buy a Nextel, you get like 10 lines free. So your whole family's on this stupid thing. So I remember my mom, she's hitting my Nextel. So it's bleep, bleep. And then she's like, where you at? Bleep, bleep, where you at? And I answer her, I was like, Mom, I'm fine. I'm down here. And she's like, where's your brother? And I was like, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him yet. Where's your uncle? I haven't seen him yet either. So she's like, all right, well, keep me informed. And like every 30 seconds, she was like, bleep, bleep, where's your brother? And I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to work down here. I can't keep picking up this phone every time you bleep it. So finally, I got her to calm down a little bit. So my partner and I, now mind you, it's dark, right? It's pitch black. There's little fires going on. You hear the sound of the pass devices going off. And you look around and it looked like a war zone. It looked like an atomic bomb had just went off and you're now in the middle of it. And if it was like a movie, like you're here, you're by yourself, it's pitch black, it's dark. I have no equipment, I have no bag, no oxygen tank, my ambulance is destroyed somewhere. So we have nothing, right? It's just your hands and that's it, right? So we're walking around trying to find people. And we're finding a lot of body parts, a lot of torsos and legs and arms. And we're just trying to find as many people as we can to try to help anybody. And we didn't find a lot in the beginning. So
hey, Jason, the best part of the whole thing is like Jason's brother's name is Felix. Everybody knows this, And the whole time your mom is just talking to you, asking you like you got to get there, like every 10 minutes, she's asking about Felix, the whole time.
Yeah, if you talk to my mom, like to hear her side, she says the whole time that we were down there, she was on her knees praying. So, mind you, her two sons, she only got two sons, and her two sons are at 9/11, and she's watching it on the news, but your two kids are there, so I can only imagine what she was going through, kind of like what Carlos is going through now with baby Carlos,
Yeah, man.
So,
it's funny. Oh, hey, Jason. So Jason's wife, the first daycare that I ever take my son to is your wife works the daycare. Like Carlos is a baby. Like he's just not even a year old. And now that asshole's being sent out somewhere to protect the country.
No.
You know,
If
mouth
there's,
breather.
if there's anybody to protect that country, you definitely want that crazy kid doing it.
You can't kill him.
Yeah.
I've tried. You know, you can't kill that kid. I've tried for sure. You know, the best thing is, Jason. So, when do you actually run into Felix?
So I find his unit first. So we finally get to the side. I find his unit. And my boy, Greg Brady, who's now a chief of FDNY, he was I found him. And I was like, hey Greg, where's my brother? And he just looked at me with that face like the last time I saw him was before the buildings came down. So, and I was like, all right, where he's at? He was like, he was inside. And so at that moment, I'm like, man, this can't be good, And sure as I sure can be, bleep bleep, at that moment, did you find your brother?
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't going to tell her that, right? So I just needed her to leave me alone for a little while. So I was like, "Yeah, I found him. He's fine. I saw him, and he said he's going to call you in a little while." And she was like, "Okay, great."
Shit.
And yeah, I regret it now saying that, but I just needed her to stop. Right? She every 15 minutes, this lady's hitting me up, and then what he just told me, I didn't want to tell her. So I kind of panicked and was like, "He's fine. I just saw him." So she left me alone. But when I hung up that phone, I knew at that moment I gotta
You
find
can't
him.
find that motherfucker.
Wow.
So but it's not you can't just have one mission to go find him, right? So there's a lot of things that are happening in between us trying to find each other. So the day goes on and the night goes on. I have another adopted brother who worked for FDNY. I found him. And I was like, hey, man, where's John? We call my brother John. And he was like, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him. So I was like, all right, we keep going about our business, trying to do whatever we can to help. And I ran into him in a building called One Liberty Plaza, which we thought was part of the World Trade Center, but we found out now it was One Liberty Plaza. And it was pitch black dark. There's no power. There's no light. We didn't have flashlights. We didn't have phones with lights. You had this little green light from your Nextel, but you really didn't have phones with lights. So I find them. And the minute I found him, I was like, hey, man, you need to call mom because I told her I found you like 2 hours ago. And he spoke to mom and, he was like, Mom, I'm all right. I hugged him. He hugged me. We were, emotional for a moment. Like, I'm glad you're all right. I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah.
And then the mission continued, right? It was the rest of the mission. We were there for 72 consecutive hours from the minute we got there to the first time we were able to leave. And we just kept on. And the job was finding as many people as you can. They set up a morgue. And it was chaos. It was just the worst thing that you could possibly imagine to be a part of, but then the best thing that you were a part of, if that makes any sense,
It totally does.
And it's interesting because there's this iconic picture of these guys. There's always a picture of like the guys raising the flag on the World Trade Center thing, but this is one picture of the guys sitting on the pile, like they took it's like
it
what
came
is
out in this book.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
It's called the September 11th Photo Project.
Yeah, if you could bring that picture up, Jason, because this picture it actually ends up being a comic book. They actually did a comic book on 9/11. And,
Oh, wow.
It ends up using this picture, and I want there's a particular thing I want you to look at this picture right here because it's pretty cool. So there's the picture right there is Jason, and Felix is right next to you somewhere. He's like,
that's me, and him.
And there he is right there. So those are two brothers right there, and I think they did a good job not bringing out the eye thing.
I wasn't really blind then.
Yeah, So, hey, the guy that Jason runs into, not Felix, is the dude that poked your eye out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other brother, the adopted brother.
Yeah, so it's a basketball accident. We tell people all kinds of different stories out.
I was going to say, what's the real story? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard.
The real story is horrible. So we have to change that up. So, it's interesting, Jason, because like you lived through something like that, and then I do think that all the people that there's 9 people that died on 9/11, right? There's the people that died that day, and then there's the people that have died because of 9/11, which is a lot of people don't understand that people that have gotten sick. They call it was it trade center sickness, Jason? Or
Yeah, more people died after 9/11 than at 9/11.
Yeah.
Secondary to 9/11.
Yeah.
So
lung issues, lung cancer, all sorts.
And it's something to bring attention to, because the reality is that the people that died because of being sick from all that dust and all the stuff from that, there was a limitation on the amount of medical coverage they would get.
Jon Stewart went to bat for that group.
They limited it to a certain amount of time or money that was spent. So there's people that died poor for responding to 9/11.
Oh, Jon Stewart's fight for them is
what a lot of people don't know is, I agree with her, but what a lot of people don't know is, I wasn't a firefighter then, right? I was an EMT working for New York City EMS. I really didn't know about fire too much. New York City at that time was very divided, where EMS and fire and police, we were all very divided, right?
Yeah.
And that brought us together, right? Tremendously. But, I wasn't really interacting with firefighters a lot, right? I was more on EMS, and fire didn't like us and we didn't like them. It was just the way New York City was at the time. And 9/11 brought us together in more ways than one. But I remember we found a firefighter. And this guy was the, big, tall, Irish guy, man. I never forget. We find him, and he had an open tib fib fracture. He had a big lac on his head. He had a broken arm. His shoulder was dislocated. He was just messed up, man. And we find him, and I never forget. We help him up, and we hop him over to the back of what was left of an ambulance, because the ambulance was crushed, but the bumper was still there. So we sit him on the bumper, and we're looking through ambulances and stuff to find equipment to help him. And we help him. We do the best we can. So after helping him, nobody could get to us, right? The 2 largest buildings in New York City just collapsed. So we can't get rescues to us. They're not bringing helicopters to us. So there's no way out, right? So, I tell the guy, listen, man, just stay here. We're going to try to find somebody to get you out. And he says, I'm not going to die on the back of this ambulance. I'm going to die.
So Miguel Delgado in the comments God put us in the place, there. They need us. Carlos, as you as Jason were. Wow, I'm sorry. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Oh, he did it again. There
Miguel's first language is Spanish, by the way. We call it
God place is where he needs
God places you where he needs you. Carlos,
Correct.
You like Jay were in the place he needed you. Couldn't pick 2 more amazing providers to do his work. I've been working with Miguel for the last 12 years. I can read his Spanglish.
Yeah, this is probably, we got to have Miguel on one day, because he's a pretty dynamic teacher. And the funniest thing with Miguel is that, you got to translate sometimes what he says, but is the most enthusiastic human being you've ever met in your whole entire life when he's teaching, man. It's truly fun to watch him get into doing scenarios and stuff like that. It's sorry about the background noise here. Again, Johnny's filling station, beautiful over here. And
we're in the prime location right here.
Yeah. The one thing I cannot remiss without saying is one of the greatest Jason quotes ever. And no matter we've had some shit go bad, doing stuff and it's Jason always say this. He goes, God's plan B is better than your plan A. I'm gonna tell you, man, every time he says that, I'm like, man, shit's pretty bad right now, but Jason's gonna say this. And shit works out, man. Things work out, and it's for me, it's been, the 2 brothers, man, has been a blessing for me in the sense of being around them, because I've learned a lot, I learned how to teach. I'm the person I am today because of Felix. But I am the adult I am in the better dad, in the better boss and businessman because of Jason. There's a lot of stuff that Jason taught me imagine, man, you think, I think I got this figured out, but you don't have shit figured out. And then you watch this dude say some simple shit and it just changes your life. And it's just because he's just that good of a man. And that's one of the things that, that it's awesome to have him on and have his support and have the things that we get to, because, man, there's a lot of doors that wouldn't open if it wasn't for Jason.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, vice versa, right, Luz? I mean, it's not one. It's not one way.
It's crazy, man. Like the people you put together. The other person we got to have on one day, Jason, is Lou, because Lou will break something while he's here.
Lou's tried to kill me multiple times.
Yeah.
You mean because he's clumsy or because?
Oh yeah, Jason doesn't give. Like, we got to have a whole new show, a whole nother show for Jason to tell you how he gets.
Can we have the new board put aside and just use this old board if he's gonna be here?
Yeah. So listen, Jason kind of hit on it where he's sitting in the Keys and the weather hits and he doesn't know where he's at. Like, the story about them getting back to shore is horrible. And like, that's a whole episode you got to have, like, where Lou on there, because Lou is, anytime Jason's almost died, Lou is involved in it.
Yeah. Kyle in the comments is like, Jason is a hell of a guy, and Rob Paul is that's the truth.
Yeah. Anytime Jason's almost died, is it because of Lou? Lou shot himself a few times, accidentally. It's the funniest shit in the whole entire world, man. Hey, Jason, man, I appreciate you having you on, brother.
No, man, I appreciate being here. I mean,
and again, it's First Response Training Group, man. Like, tell people how to find you, Jason.
So First Response Training Group is frtg.edu. We offer EMT, we offer paramedic, we do nursing now. Thanks to Carlos, he played an intricate role in helping us build our nursing program and getting it up and running.
Jason, you see the little feature on the side of the computer that says private chat?
Yeah.
Can you type in the address right there real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
And send it to me, and I'll put it up on the screen.
Put it up there. And Jay, I didn't do shit for the nursing school, by the way. I was just there a few times and read some papers. And there's another dude that's amazing, Rob Kreger, which is a military veteran, unbelievable, crazy human being that breaks stuff. And he is a guy that his dad. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, we had all these people that put in to making these schools be what they are, man. It's pretty cool, So.
But it's like your company.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's like Carlos's company. I have a strong faith in God, right? And if you have a strong faith in God, then you believe that God puts people in your life for a reason, right? So everybody that is a part of my life is part of the story, right? And the story is Rob, it's Carlos, it's me, it's my brother, it's Miguel, it's Kyle, it's everybody that plays a role in that story, right? So we all have a job and we all here for a reason. And I just believe that my reason was to have this school. And when I put people out, or I put EMTs or paramedics out, I always look at them as I'm putting them out to help fill that dent of what we lost at 9/11, right? And you're never going to stop fulfilling that hole. So that's the mission and that's the goal. And Carlos does the goal, Carlos does the mission, And I don't look at Carlos as competition, and I don't look at Renta as competition. I look at all our companies as God's plan to be able to make a difference in our community, right? So
what you're saying right there reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses, 2 Timothy 4:7. I fought a good fight, and I finished my course, and I've kept the faith. So basically, like what you guys are doing, I mean, you guys are fighting a good fight, and God bless you all for what you do, because the efforts that you Carlos, Renta put in each and every day in teaching new recruits, new people that are going out onto the field, like, they're having the skills that are going to extend or save someone's life. So honestly,
if you want to laugh, put us all in the same classroom.
Yeah, what's crazy is that you ever seen the Brown 96? So the Cleveland Browns in 1996 was the last year that they were a team before they came back. So those Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore and become the Baltimore Rays.
I'm an IT guy. We're not allowed to watch sports.
Yeah, so anyways, but you do know what the name Bill Belichick is, right? coach of the Patriots.
Oh, we know that because of the show we just watched.
Kevin can go fuck himself.
Yeah.
He can go fuck himself. We know from a show.
So Bill Belichick is the coach of the '96 Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Every person that worked under him is won championships. Has gone to like Nick Saban, who's the coach of Alabama, who's won every fucking national championship the last 5 years, and college football. And just it's all this greatness came out of there.
It's like he's charmed.
Yeah. Well, the original school. When you look at that original school, everybody that runs a program in the state right now, that owns their own school, owns their own company, Tony Renta, we all came from that the first school. We all taught there at one point in time.
Wow.
And you're talking about the guy that like runs EMS for, Disney World. That dude came from that school. Wow. Like all of us, everybody, it's just this collection of misfit toys that now runs the industry. It's insane, man.
That's pretty cool.
I
did want to say something though. I just wanted to, from like a random citizen watching on TV that day, this very scary thing happening. I wanted to like really say thank you to Jason and his family, because your whole family was involved in that day, it seems like, and all, your brothers in, EMS, the firefighters, for just being so selfless on that day and taking action. Like the stories you hear, there was no holding back. Like it was just help. And it didn't matter what the situation was. They didn't know what they were going into, but you guys just really, took action. And I just really, from the bottom of my heart, want to say thank you for that.
No, and I appreciate that. I mean, I greatly appreciate it. And I would do it all over again, but I appreciate that. And it does mean a lot, but you have that sense of guilt, because you lost so many people down there.
Yeah.
But you notice, Angie, like that's the thing with people that do this job. He wasn't like not trying to go.
I was going to say,
he's dumping.
He was like, how can I get there?
Yeah,
selflessness.
Yeah,
that's the wiring of all you guys. Of just, I have to get there. I can't miss it. I was so impressed by that too, and I agree with Angie. I want to say thank you, and we really do appreciate you.
I mean, I appreciate it, but make no mistake, I have my limits, right? So, like I never forget a call. I used to work across from Carlos. Carlos was at Rescue 10, and I was the transporting unit for Rescue 10. And I had just got to Florida. So, when you come from New York City, you're terrified of alligators, right? Because there's no alligators in New York City, right? And,
this is going to be good.
Yeah. So, the call comes out, and it's a vehicle that veered off the highway and ended up in a retention pond. So I get there first, and I see the headlights sticking out the car, right? So I was like, oh, man, the car is in the retention pond. And I was like, great, but I'm not going in there, right? So I'm at the edge where and it's pitch black. It's like 2 a.m. And I'm at the line of the water and the grass. And I see the car. It's in the water. And I know there's somebody in it. But I'll go to 9/11 all over again. You're not putting me in the water with this. So Carlos shows up in his rescue, and he looks at me, and he's like, well, what you waiting for? I was like, I'm waiting for you, because I'm not going in there. So he takes his pants off, right? Literally, just drops his drawers in the middle of Conroy and I-4. And I'm looking at this dude like, man, what are you doing?
It's hard to swim with your pants on.
Yeah. And he's got tighty whities on. So I'm like, why is he wearing tighty whities? So, and he dove right in, literally dove right in the water, pitch black water. And he had a little fanny pack with him, like around his shoulder. So I'm like, man, I hope that fanny pack is like scuba gear or something, He dives in the water. Even his partner didn't go. His partner was like, I'm not going in there. So he dives in, and sure, I swear I'm not exaggerating at all. He pulled the lady right out of the car and brought her back to land to us. And then I said, all right, I'll handle it from here, but I'm not going in that water,
Wow.
So, we all have our limits, but,
So you lived in Florida for a while. Do you still have those limits?
Oh, yeah. I'm not getting it. I'm still a
little scaredy cat.
But while I'm on your show, Los, before I head out, I just want to know that I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of your accomplishments. You've always went against the grain, man, and you always stayed true to who you are and what you believe in. And it's cost you at times, but you never steered off the road, you know. And I'm very proud of you. I'm grateful that you were able to be my educator when I went to medic school, and everything you've done for me thus far, and continue to do for me and do for the community. So while I'm on your show, you know, I believe in giving you your flowers while you're here. And you know, a lot of people wait for people to die to tell them how great they are. And I don't want to. I don't want to do that. You know, I want to be able to tell people how great they are while they're here. You know,
Yeah, I
so
appreciate
I'm
it. I
greatly
appreciate it,
appreciative
Jason.
of you and
Thank you,
all
man.
you've done. And I'm glad to be on your show. And anything I could do in the future, please feel free to let me know.
Oh man, listen, the thanks is here, brother, because you know this is and Jason's one of those people that always will tell me, hey, that's not right. This is right. You know, this is he doesn't and it's just that honesty. You need that. You need those people in your life.
Of course.
But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'll say this, and I said this to Josh. We were talking last night. You know, this dude, him and Miguel, that other guy, stuck on the road for hours because their truck that they drove up to help me out in a class. Our first like big contract. I didn't go by myself. Jason went with us, and Miguel went with us, and they broke down on the middle of like the turnpike, and they were there for like 6 hours waiting for like the tow truck to come get their vehicle.
Miguel
And you know,
was driving the ambulance like it was a
Yep.
Toyota Corolla
yep,
and blew the motor.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And you know, like Jason didn't charge me for that.
Yeah.
That's his company's vehicle that he needs for his school. Got destroyed doing a job for me, and I'm gonna tell you, I've never forgotten that.
Yeah.
You know, and Jason knows when he calls me, and it's like and Trish knows Jason calls. He didn't call a lot. When he calls, you know, I'm coming.
We need to give Trisha flowers too, though, for dealing with you.
Yeah. She deals with me quite a bit. You know.
So just a little backstory right now because of limited holes on the splitter. Not everyone here in the studio has a headset. So this is actually for Trisha's first time hearing your voice.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, Trish, I give you kudos for dealing with Carlos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's definitely one of those things, man. But I'm gonna tell you, Jason, appreciate it, brother. Thank you for being on. And it's like, 9/11 tomorrow for a lot of people is the World Trade Center, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. You know, 9/11 2012 was another time that us as Americans, we had a big thing happen, and a lot of people don't remember that. Can you remember what happened 9/11 2012, Patricia?
Bin Laden?
Negative, sir. Anybody else?
Pulse.
Nope. You know what we miss on that is the first time that a diplomatic agent in like 70 years was killed on foreign soil. So we lost got too many PBRs right now, non-official sponsor of the rest of company one. The Benghazi situation. We lost all the diplomatic agents that day. Yep. And all that stuff. So that's a big thing that people forget that happened. That's not on the the anniversary of 9/11, and we lost the God. What is the name of those people? I can't even think about it.
What ambassador?
Ambassador. It's the first time since 1983 that an ambassador has died on foreign soil.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know that. So some to know out there because 9/11 for those people is something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
hey, Los, real quick, when you do these podcasts,
Benghazi attack.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Jason. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
When you do these podcasts, are you able to do subtitles for when Miguel gets on?
Yes. We will have subtitles.
So here's the issue.
Me too.
We do have subtitles, but that's only available on the YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube Live, you would be able to see.
Oh, you're gonna need subtitles for Miguel.
But I thought you were Mr. Amazing. Why can't we get them everywhere?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's because he doesn't have
I'm
the new
just
board
saying.
yet.
Just saying.
Hey,
Well, Los, I appreciate you guys.
Yes,
I think
sir.
you all. I gotta head out.
Yeah, buddy.
Kids
Thank you,
calling.
Thank you,
so
Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
I appreciate you guys. You have a blessed night, guys.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. You know, a couple more things before we leave that I
Shot?
think it's just yeah, we got a shot. You know, here we go.
Oh, I still have like Jimmy's story to tell.
Oh yeah, we got a couple stories we gotta get through
I
real
have
quick.
a golf cart naked story to tell.
Yes,
A
we
naked
do.
golf cart
Naked
story.
golf cart?
Yes.
And I have a good mouth.
And you do have a good mouth. I can
Yes.
see it from
I
over
know.
here.
We got to talk about that.
It is excellent.
Phrasing.
Oh, we
Yeah.
did the shot. We did
Yeah.
That's what you get for not giving me subtitles.
You
I
know,
gave you some sign language.
Dan and Anjee, when we got you all on
We
here
better
and
change
stuff
the
like
names
this.
on that golf cart story to protect
That
the
was
innocent.
Yes, I think I should.
You know what happened? What happened earlier this week when we were talking about? We did a lot of talking about Patricio.
Oh, jeez.
We're not
Nah.
going to talk about all of that.
No, we can't bring that up on the air right now to protect
No,
the
we
innocent.
can't.
You know, but so how do you end up naked on a golf cart, Angie?
Well,
What had happened
okay.
was
First of all, I usually end up naked if there's a hot tub because I think it's,
When it's hot?
ridiculous. No,
Oh.
ridiculous to wear a bathing suit in a hot tub.
Which is why our friends and family got rid of all their
I
hot
concur.
tubs.
They all got rid of their hot tubs because of us. Let's put it that way. We actually
You mean to tell me that weekend in Sarasota? Oh.
You're going to
So-
tell them how we met?
So that's how me and Dan met, naked in a hot tub.
No shit.
Yes, that
Fantastic.
is
Yeah.
literally how we met. He came to the party. I was already naked with a couple other people in the hot tub, and I said, "Why are you wearing clothes?"
Yeah.
And started taking his clothes off. And he's like,
That's our
Okay.
relationship advice. That's how you find the one.
I
Get
don't know why
naked in a hot
anybody
tub.
wears clothes in a hot tub.
"It's ridiculous. You don't
This
wear."
is
I
true.
agree.
It's
you
bad
wear
for
no
the filter.
clothes in the
Yes, sir.
bathtub.
That is
like,
very strong advice.
Yes.
You know, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, we were at the same people's house. I'm trying to not say the names.
Yeah, yeah.
Same people's house.
Allegedly.
That we met in the hot tub, right? That they
Yes.
got rid of the hot tub. No, we were having.
You were
a good
like, we're going to
night. We had
pretend there
few
is a hot
drinks.
tub.
We
Had a-
decided
had
to
a
go
few
on the
drinks.
golf cart and
Somebody might have been egging them on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Somebody
you
might
know,
have had a what?
been egging them on.
egging them on, and clothes came off, and then we drove down a main road with our clothes off, and we got a lot of honks. So that's good.
Yeah.
You know,
The police were called, so this is good.
Oh.
That's even better.
That's even better. And
They're
then we
just
had a good
contributing,
night.
story.
contributing to other people's happiness.
Now, do you think
That's
people?
right. We are here to make people happy.
Were you
Absolutely.
So Dan, were you naked on that in the golf cart too, or just
I have been, yes, but not that night.
not that night?
Yeah.
No.
You
This
were
was
not
just for the
naked in the
girls.
golf
No.
cart?
This was
No,
we were
okay,
on the
so,
golf cart.
So another story. So the night when he was naked on the golf cart with us,
We're doing it.
We're getting a golf
I
cart.
That's
felt-
the name of the episode.
We
Angie-
totally need a golf cart.
Yeah.
Angie, Angie fell off the golf cart
Oh, I've
Naked.
done that,
onto the
but
side.
I wasn't naked.
Thank
Can I-
God
at
it
the
was the
time.
side of the road in the grass, and I did like a tuck and roll.
Listen,
Oh.
I almost died.
Can I
and
tell?
then
I will
naked-
tell my perspective
Okay,
of that
you tell
story
your
real quick.
perspective.
So there is one naked girl driving.
Allegedly.
No. I was
You were
driving.
driving, a naked girl in
there's
between
a naked
us.
girl in between us, and then there's Angie who is turned and
You were naked
facing
too,
me
Angie?
driving. Yes,
I was naked.
all of us were.
Of course, I was
And
We
naked.
should all
So
be
we're
naked.
driving.
Let's
And-
do it now.
Angie is.
Well, I mean,
Not
we
here,
could.
yeah,
Not here.
Johnny's, but we can go naked afterwards. Absolutely.
So Angie is facing me, and we're talking, and it's pitch black. We're out in the woods, and I'm talking, and I look over, and she's gone.
Okay. Now, what I claim,
Say what's on the banner.
What had happened?
What
was-
had happened was the girl in the middle, the naked girl in the middle, pushed me out of the fucking
Oh.
cart.
Oh,
Okay.
Did you beat her
man.
ass after
Now,
that?
she doesn't think she did.
But
She
she
knows
did.
she did.
She knows she did.
I
She
can't
knows
say.
I'm talking to her. and
You're
she
naked
knows
in a
what
golf
she
cart.
did.
I was looking at the road.
You're there for safety.
Of course
Yes.
you were.
You know
You're,
why.
you're an observer.
That's it.
She knows.
Yeah, you're the safety monitor.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Apparently not a good one.
So my perspective was Dan's naked ass running down the road at me. I'm like, oh, he's coming to save me.
Oh man.
See, that's so romantic.
It's-
Man, I'll
It
tell
is
you
so
what. that's a-
romantic.
Look, it's way more romantic. Like I've always told him the way that I know it's ended with us is if he puts like rose petals on the bed.
Oh yeah.
Then it's over.
No, I
Why's
know
that?
that like because I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not your thing, huh?
It's not my thing.
Man.
No,
It's
no.
too schmoopy.
Too schmoopy.
You want to tell them about my golf cart accident?
Man,
Were you
I'm gonna
guys,
tell you. I'm
Were you
gonna
guys-
tell you. I'm
were
gonna
you
tell
guys
you.
naked?
No, there's no.
I was not
nakedness in
naked.
the golf cart. So this golf cart cost me.
But
some
I did
money, though.
almost die.
Yes.
Oh God,
Oh.
this is a real accident.
So read the title.
So
What had happened was
what had happened was allegedly
allegedly.
Allegedly.
this is a golf course we're no longer invited to go back to.
oh,
By the way, but it's a golf
oh, this
fire
is,
department golf tournament where
Oh, God.
we as the rescue company won.
We
allegedly
sponsored a hole.
sponsored a hole.
Whose hole?
I've
And-
sponsored
Oh,
plenty
I
of
don't know.
holes.
I was
Imagine
gonna
it
say
in my
that.
nice mouth.
I have put several holes through college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put a couple holes through college.
The single mother fund.
Yeah. So Trish and Josh are in a golf cart, and they decided to play chicken with another golf cart.
I did not decide. I was not driving.
Oh.
I was the passenger.
So at the hole that we sponsored,
It's like Jackass 4.
it was.
the hole that we sponsored, we're giving away shots. So we end up
Yep.
Everybody.
Everybody.
we end up
Everybody.
keeping, like everybody in the golf tournaments, they're just doing fucking shots. And then we start a chicken tournament with golf carts. And
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
It was not.
Trish
I would,
lost.
no, I
I
would
did
totally
lose.
be in on that.
So what happened?
So anyway,
Bacon.
Josh is driving this golf cart.
Josh doesn't lose.
Josh doesn't lose that chicken.
Josh does not lose at chicken ever.
And this time they lost though, because he deviated
did
and
the other
goes
guy.
down a fucking embankment, and Josh jumped off. Trish, she stayed in the golf cart, which struck a tree.
Were you
Oh
like?
my God.
Did you have like? Did you start racing? Like, were you like racing? No, you were just like.
No,
I'm just gonna go with it.
I was also drinking those shots.
Yeah.
So it was a very mellow ride until
Oh,
the tree.
man. She looked like
You
she.
were all loosey goosey, so you probably didn't even get really hurt, did you? Did
oh
you
no,
get
she
hurt?
got fucked up.
What
I
happened?
did get fucked up.
It looked like she was in a trailer park fight.
Oh.
Like it was.
With
Like,
a girl
I had
named
this
Darlene.
It looked like I choked the fuck.
Why'd
out
you
of
say
her.
it like
I
that?
had
I'll
this
tell you in a
huge,
minute.
kind of abrasion across my neck. Like, probably if I had not been drinking, I probably would have died.
lost an
Oh,
Apple Watch.
Yeah,
I lost an
but that's
Apple
what I'm
Watch.
saying, because you were drinking, you were like all just
Probably
like,
the only reason I'm
go
alive
with
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
Lost an Apple Watch.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst thing.
And it's funny as shit.
You know that's the worst thing to me. I'm dying over that.
Yeah, she's lost an Apple Watch.
Oh,
I know.
oh yeah. Oh, this was bad. And then me and Josh get in the worst
Oh, it was bad.
fight we've ever gotten into as best friends. We're practically a married couple.
They are.
And like
We were there last night.
worst fight me and him I've ever gotten into. It was fucking funny as shit because it was a bad breakup that day.
Is
Like
any-
an actual fight or just a
Oh yeah,
word fight?
no, it was
Yeah,
an
it
actual fight.
Oh yeah, man. It's
Like
funny
they
as
threw tables and everything.
shit at
Oh,
each other, yeah.
Wow.
Those are the best fights when the table gets thrown.
Yeah.
Is any of it on film?
No,
No.
I wish, man.
Don't you
I
wish
wish I would
some
have
of the
that shit.
stuff that we did when we were younger, the things that
No.
we
No.
No, I do because I'd be a millionaire.
No.
Like
Oh, man.
seriously?
I would
mean-
have some good
I
fucking
I would
videos.
be in
would
jail.
No, I'd be a freaking millionaire from the funny shit.
Well, like
it's-
TikTok-
Have you seen my
TikTok
skin?
and
Have you
like-
seen my skin color?
Well, I'm white as can be, buddy, so I wouldn't be anywhere.
So
Now
So-
you be rich.
Yeah, just be rich.
and
Look
I'm gonna
at
tell
these
you.
these Irish blue eyes, like seriously, green eyes.
We grew
whatever.
up in a small town where
Seriously, we know.
I got pulled over
No.
15 times in my childhood, and they'd go, "Danny, your dad would kick your ass, pour your beer out, and make
Yeah.
you go home."
Get home.
It's like Mayberry.
Yeah, seriously.
The wonderful city of Apopka.
I wasn't gonna say any names.
Allegedly.
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 I didn't grow up in a pub.
Hey, times have changed.
Oh,
Apopka's
Yeah, it's more of a metropolitan now
Yeah.
than it is anything
Yeah,
else.
we're definitely
Allegedly.
we're getting there with some.
Can you
great
blur my
company.
face out?
Yeah,
Patricio?
Don't say his name. Like
You know,
none of that.
the funniest shit is that me and Patricia get pulled over like that. You get beat with something.
Oh no.
What?
So
You got
here's the thing.
beat?
Here's the thing. What happened was I got pulled over when we went to what's that place called, Savannah, this over the weekend.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so I got pulled over because we were playing I Spy with My Little Eye,
Oh yeah.
and I got just
Little
completely.
Eye?
I got completely what?
Which little eye?
Oh,
Oh, your whispering eye.
hello.
Good one. 10 points to Gryffindor. But no, we were playing I Spy in the car, and I kind of lost focus. And the thing is, when I'm on the highway, I like to go fast, and I like to stay on the fast lane. But the thing is, like, there were a couple of cars in the way, so I'm kind of swerving back and forth. And next thing you know, I know McIntosh County sheriff's officer pulls up behind me and starts, swinging the lights. And I'm like, oh, they're probably trying to get through. And then I go to another lane, and they follow me. I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting pulled over. So we pull over to the side, And in the car, they're like, "Oh crap, freaking! The cop's gonna come in here. They're gonna start talking shit." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." All right,
Yes.
I'm brown, you're white. And we're in Georgia right now, so allow
Yeah, you
me.
don't fit.
Let me
I
turn
mean,
on.
at least you were with white people.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's a,
well, that's the problem because there's a white person in the car, and then the brown guy's driving. What if the
You
white
stole
person?
the car
I stole the car.
and kidnapped the person.
Yeah, I was too brown for the car that I had rented. Okay, so the second the officer
What'd
pulls
you
up,
rent?
I rented a Nissan Sport Rogue,
Oh
Rogue
yeah.
Sport or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And the officer comes up and immediately, "Good afternoon, officer. What seems to be the problem?" I go into my
course.
my
Your
attorney
DJ
mode.
voice,
I'm,
you're
I'm,
like,
I'm
yeah.
doing the podcast voice, and the second I already have my license registration. I mean the paperwork from the rental car. I'm like, "Officer, this is a rental car. I am a resident of Florida. Here's my information, and here's a copy of my insurance card if you need it." I know what to do when it comes to a cop pulling up. The second the cop pulls away, passenger was like, "I would have told that cop to shut the fuck." What?
Oh.
No!
I would not do that.
Especially not in Georgia.
Yeah, and then
Ever.
because I was
First of
getting
all,
a ticket.
that's just fucking disrespectful.
Right.
Like,
Plus-
you
Yes,
just
it
don't
is.
I mean,
act like
that
that.
If you were at,
If you
you
were
know
doing
you got
something wrong, then you were
Right.
doing something
I
wrong.
knew I was
absolutely.
wrong. I knew I was wrong because I was going over. I was 17 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, you ain't get away with that.
Yeah.
No.
So
You
she was
say
gracious enough.
Ashley
She's
in
like, "I
Georgia.
gave you the lowest fine that I could for what you were doing, but you were going pretty fast." I'm like,
right. She was cool about it.
"Yeah, she was cool about it because I was cool with her."
Respectful.
If passenger would have been been at the wheel, holy crap, I might have been in the back of that cruiser.
Oh yeah, you would have.
Wow.
You would have been fucked up. In
Yeah,
Georgia.
and then even
Yeah.
when we were I'm waiting for a ticket because I know what the officer's doing. Passenger was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she's taking so long." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Oh my
we're-
god. I
Yeah.
hate,
Oh, yeah.
I've
So
been in
Dan and I
situations.
watch those, like TikTok videos or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times we're watching because we want the person who's giving the cop a hard time to get their ass kicked. Like
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah.
"Woo, women getting dragged out!"
But I'm,
like,
but
woo.
I'm right down the middle though,
Yeah,
because
we're right,
sometimes
but
the
we
cops
are.
are wrong, really wrong, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
they're
absolutely.
not.
They-
Yeah.
they-
Yeah.
Sometimes
We
they're
saw a
not.
video earlier today.
There's some
about-
bad apples everywhere, man.
Yeah, of
But
course.
sometimes
with a
people
cop
just like
that
to
was getting
poke at
shot at, and
Oh,
like just
yeah.
in
Brevard-
Cocoa or
Brevard County.
Brevard
Brevard
County
County
or
Sheriff
something like that. Like this dude hops out of the back seat and just starts shooting
popping
at the
rounds.
cops.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to tell my boys, look, if you are like Southern mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're in trouble, it's like yes sir, no
Be
sir.
nice.
Yes.
Right? Look, you go in and you approach a cop. I hope you get your ass kicked. Like
Yeah.
it's go
But-
because it's like if you approach me at home.
and I have
Like, it's
friends and
going
family
down.
that are
Yeah.
that are in the police force, so I
Yeah.
get it. Sometimes it's like the
Oh, yeah.
kids just like to mess with them. You know what they say? Their famous saying is, "You play silly games, you win silly prizes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole
And-
what statute is
You know,
that? What?
it's,
What? Shut your mouth.
Don't ask questions you don't know the answer
That's
to.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, sadly, if I were to get pulled over in Orange, Osceola County, I know the statutes. I know I've talked my way out of it.
Yeah.
I've talked my way out of 3 DUIs. I've
Yeah.
talked my way
Wow.
out of speeding tickets. I've talked my way out of everything because I actually know
But-
what the fuck I'm talking
But
about. But go ahead.
I was going to say, to your point, though, those videos where the cop is just being jerky, and we saw the one where he's an attorney,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
as soon as they start realizing, when
What
they
they're
say
dealing
start
with.
recording me, you're not allowed to record me. That's bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But they go away. But so
Yeah.
there's, like I said, I'm right down the middle. I just want to see what's
you gotta
right.
be. You gotta be.
Yeah.
Gracious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And what day is it all the time when somebody
Shut the fuck up, Friday.
Shut the fuck up Fridays. That's a Rescue Company 1 rule.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
You
up.
mean you mean
Every
like when
day.
you get pulled over? Or
No.
I'm
Any-
not
all the
always
time.
good at it.
Shut
Every
the
day.
fuck up,
It don't
Friday.
need to be
Anytime.
Friday.
Anytime that you
There's
feel
Jamie.
Every
Yes,
day is
Jamie.
shut the fuck up Friday.
Hold on, though. I want to hear what that means.
So anytime you think your opinion serves any bearing on the situation,
It doesn't.
it's time to shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
That's a very good point because your
Yeah.
opinion doesn't matter.
Don't mean shit.
Right.
Don't mean shit, and just says time to shut the fuck up. And that was instituted by our head of human resources, Mr. Robbie Tester.
Yeah.
And
Shut the fuck up
shut
Friday.
the
I love
fuck up
it.
Fridays.
I love it.
And it works.
Yeah.
It fucking works. My life has been better since Shut the Fuck Fridays have been instituted. And
I kind of want to start instituting that in my life.
Oh
Jeez.
man, you know, like there was a lot of times I'd be at work and I'd be like, I should interject on this thing, and then I go, no, shut the fuck up, Fridays.
I feel like you do interject.
I interject when it's witty and funny.
You know what doesn't need to shut the fuck up? Her mouth.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because
By the
guess
way,
what?
Let's talk about
She has a great mouth.
She
Thank
has
you,
a
Andy.
great
it.
Thank
mouth.
you.
Amanda.
So
I
what
have
happened?
a great mouth.
That's
Ooh,
it.
it's great.
It was great.
So now it's Amanda's turn
Yeah.
to tell us what happened was.
What had happened was
I just want to start this by I did follow the Shut the Fuck Up Friday
Yes.
because
Good
this would have
job.
been bad.
yes, it's
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
allegedly,
Allegedly,
yes.
it's dismissal at the alleged
school.
school.
You work at
And there's a lot of kids that don't listen and they
Yeah.
call their names. So I have a very projecting voice if
You
I
do
wanted to be.
project.
I spent a lot of time being a cheerleader. My voice will go all the
I
way
love-
down that
I love
front of the school.
cheerleaders.
Now,
man.
are you still cheerleader sometimes?
Trish is.
I was today.
Trish has just the skirt.
So
Is
That's
that-
it. That's all you
counts.
wanted.
That counts.
Oh man,
all
that's
you
all
need.
you need.
it is. It really is.
Go ahead.
So we have this newer person who may or may not be of a different cultural background and has some trouble speaking to people sometimes. And what I'm assuming he was trying to say was that I had a good voice for what I was doing. But it came out, you have a good mouth.
Oh, you,
Yeah.
And I was like,
you have go mouth.
no. And I just shut the fuck up
Yeah.
Friday and turned around and walked away
Yeah,
because
shut the-
Thank
You're
you.
like, yeah, bitch, I do.
Oh.
That's
Hey.
what
know.
you thought when you showed your
you know, if some people would say that to you, I would be like that. But then there are some people
Not
where
this
you're
person.
just like,
Yeah.
That was
Oh.
cringy.
Yes.
That was
And I'm
cringy.
like,
Plus,
oh,
we're in
man.
front of a bunch of students. All the students know what you're saying. First
Yes.
of all, it don't matter how old they are. They knew. They
you know,
Yeah.
it's
So this was like one of the kids' fathers, right?
no, that's a
No, he works
at
allegedly
the
is,
school.
Yeah.
employed,
Oh.
Oh, so you're gonna have
Yeah.
to see him again at some point.
Yeah.
oh, every day.
yeah.
you should start putting like glittery lipstick on.
Oh,
and stuff.
no.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Would you
just
like some?
really
I've got
your
some
extra.
Yes, Trish has some.
I
you
don't
can
need
borrow.
to encourage it.
Accentuate.
glittery.
Yeah.
Accentuate the
I
mouth.
think a gold
Yeah.
grill.
I
something.
totally do it all the time.
Just be like,
Like everything. Yes, you
Yes,
should. You totally
exactly.
should. Every time you see him. Oh my gosh.
You should do that on the camera again.
Patricia, where's the slow mo replay?
it's
Oh,
with
man.
my subtitles.
Oh, I've already isolated the clip and it's about to go on TikTok.
There we go.
Yeah. You know, it's-
Perfect.
He gets the best faces of me.
Oh,
I-
boy.
I'm not even gonna ask how.
Good night, everybody.
Oh man, you know it's funny as shit. This show, like we just talked about a heartbreaking 9/11 show, and now we're talking about people's good mouths.
Her mouth has a very
Well,
particular
I
set
mean,
of skills.
mouths are amazing.
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
big.
Okay.
Oh, look at that! Yes. Well, we will see what we can put in that later. Allegedly.
It's a
Allegedly.
long tongue.
Can you touch your nose with your
I've
tongue?
heard of a ping pong ball trick.
I don't think I can.
Look at that!
What?
Wow.
Hey,
That Jason
What is it?
is
Stick out,
holding out.
stick out your tongue and touch your nose?
Yeah, can you do
Can you do
it?
that little flower
I'm not
thing?
gonna
Can
try
you?
it.
No.
I can
Have you
only
seen
roll
this
my
nose,
tongue.
man?
Oh yeah, that thing. That's
You can lay back and tell the time.
that's
Come on.
refined.
Come on.
Hey, that is a good thing right there.
Oh yeah,
We're
that's a
not
tick.
gonna.
No,
Yeah,
that's a.
we
That
like
thing.
that nose.
That thing high fives the flag man as much as you need to.
Yeah. It is. It's not. That's why I married him.
Yeah, hey,
Hey,
everybody.
that's where the man in the boat puts his anchor.
Yeah, yeah. Trish married me because I could breathe through my ears.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't need to breathe.
Nobody even notices.
I can
Oh my
breathe.
God.
Hey, you know.
You know, but you're right. But it's interesting how we go from such a serious
Oh,
topic.
man,
But you
that's-
have to, right?
it's
But
the
that's how-
things. It's the
Okay,
things.
so it's like us when we're at home and we watch like a very serious
flower.
movie or something, a
It's a flower.
documentary that's very serious. We have to watch a comedy right after.
To go to
before-
bed, yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to get into a different state of mind after you talk about something or see something serious.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to do
absolutely.
something.
I'm still talking.
Oh yeah.
Comical.
Anytime I watch Shawshank Redemption, I gotta watch Letterkenny afterwards.
Shawshank.
Yeah. How many
Great
times
movie.
can you watch that? Really?
I can watch that movie
Over and over again?
Come
I can't do
on.
that
I can
one
watch
over
that
and over.
movie,
Oh,
man.
dude, the
As
Stephen
much.
King, man. Anything from Stephen.
No,
You
I'm
know.
more of a funny girl, so I like funny comedies. Like
Letterkenny
that's
isn't
me.
funny?
You know,
Who is it?
Letterkenny?
I don't know what that is.
Well, I don't know
it's
what that is.
it's a Canadian
Canadian
show.
comedy.
I don't know that
We
one.
struggle to find funny
Yes,
stuff
I
because
do.
like
Really
Kevin
do.
can go F himself is a really funny show. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
You ever see people look at? I don't know.
What's
You're
going
on over
cracking yourself
here?
up. So we haven't
That
done
If you're
this.
missing
Wow.
it, you're gonna be sorry you
Did you
did.
see that?
What happened? I missed it. But
I know you missed it.
I
Did it-
can't
did a
believe it's
nipple
been an
come out or
hour and
something?
34
Like,
minutes,
what?
but we
Did
have a
nipple
3-minute
come out or
warning.
something?
And it-
Like,
yep.
No, but
Yep.
did you see what she was doing with her mouth?
you are right. Oh
what
my
is
goodness.
going on?
What's a 3-minute
Hey,
warning for?
I was
Well,
teaching
Trish
her
gets
how
put
to
in the
drink.
penalty box just about every show we have for shenanigans.
Oh, is that the 3 minutes?
Yes.
Oh,
You're now staying tuned for the
I-
microphone.
listen,
What's the
I
penalty
was
box? I
drinking-
want
We
one.
were minding our own business over here. Y'all were
Apparently,
just
you are.
having your
It's on
own.
the microphone. So
I
it's
was-
like,
we can
there's
go back.
simple
I
rules.
was
It
drinking
was
with a
actually
rolled
on
tongue.
the camera. We
Well,
went.
I'll have the court reporter read it back to me. But till
Do
then,
it.
3 minutes.
Do it.
What's the penalty box? Sounds
I don't know.
interesting.
Just,
It's imaginary.
it's
He
usually
thinks she'll be quiet.
I mean,
It doesn't work.
Look, the penalty box sounds very fun to me.
I
I
thought-
mean, I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I mean,
that's
it is.
It is fun later.
Allegedly.
I get it back.
I get
out.
punished.
No, that's for real. I
Punishment
get it
box,
back.
whatever you want to call it.
I
Like,
take it out
hey,
on our ass later on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And then it looks like that flower.
Oh, God.
I would just like to know that me and Jason have had some in-depth talks.
Yeah.
And he never says anything about Amanda's tongue. So he's holding out.
Huh.
Allegedly.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we should talk about your tongue.
maybe you should tell the story.
I can drink through a straw. That's all I
were-
was showing her.
You know, this
You do
this-
this.
Her tongue is like
And
a
then
like a
you-
Hoover vacuum.
Yeah,
There's a straw in it.
I can't do that, but I can flip mine completely upside down.
that is crazy.
Oh, you can too. There you go.
No, you're not
Oh.
talented here in this group. She's
Oh my
I
god.
can't
have a
com-
middle finger.
I can't compete. I can't compete with Gene Simmons over here.
Yeah.
Come on.
yeah.
Look at
You
that
can't roll
tongue.
it.
No, I can't.
She can flour it.
What's a flower?
Wait, what?
Hold on,
Oh,
she'll
you
show
can flour it?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no fingers, no fingers.
Yeah.
I can tie a cherry stem with my tongue.
I can do that too.
This is a
She,
talent.
oh, she can
I
flower.
want to race you.
We're gonna have
It's on.
When Amanda when
Her name's Jamie. I'm
when Jamie,
Amanda.
when Jamie gets back here,
we're
we're
gonna,
gonna ask for cherries, and we're
You're
gonna
gonna ask her for cherries.
we're gonna ask her for
think,
cherries.
I think somebody got hers already. But it's cool.
Just be careful how you
Oh, I
ask
don't know if
Yeah.
I can tie that one.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna try.
A cherry stem? You can't do that?
Jamie's cherry.
Oh, I don't think it's there anymore.
I think somebody tied that one already.
He has children.
Does anybody have a cherry left nowadays? Really?
Yeah, not
Wow.
most people ride horses before they get.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
I haven't ridden a horse since I was like 4 years old.
I have.
You lost your cherry then.
That was young.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you know,
It explains a lot.
No, I was supposed to go horseback riding a few weeks ago, but apparently horses have a weight limit. And
really?
yeah.
Depends on the size of the horse.
Well, I thought
I went
I thought they were
horseback
big
riding
horses.
earlier today.
Giggity.
Oh, okay. Speaking of horses.
Doink.
Damn, Dan.
Okay. No. So there is.
Oh, no.
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 She was quick on that. No.
There is this. What is it? Is it on Netflix? There's this
I don't know
show
where you're going
called
with this.
the Seven Deadly Sins. I think
Oh, yeah.
it's Netflix.
Oh,
Huh?
Did you see the one about the the devices that they make shaped after animals and stuff?
Yes.
No.
How did I not
No.
watch this?
I didn't
one?
even know
Saw
that was a thing.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. I'm like,
We watched
what?
at the fire station allegedly.
I was about to say I did not watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a company that makes,
Yeah.
They
See?
make all
female-
sorts of
you know,
things.
like not. I don't
People
want to
are
say female.
fucking
They're not just for
gross.
females. They're
Oh,
they're
I
for
did see
everybody.
part of this.
pleasure apparatuses.
Yes.
I don't know what I could
I
say on
like
the
those.
show. Yeah, but
Yeah, but not
But
shaped
now
by
th-
an
but they're-
animal.
but they're like
Oh,
all
yeah,
sorts
probably
of
not.
animal shapes, like
That's
horses,
weird.
elephant trunks,
Yes.
um,
what
different
she
types
said.
of dogs.
You know,
like,
I remember this, and I
goats,
thought,
like,
you know,
all
I'm gonna
sorts
go
of
deep
stuff.
for
I'm
a
like,
second.
what the hell?
You-
Oh, he's going deep. She
How
said
can-
no.
How can you be surprised by this? You guys are like working in the
Oh, no,
ER when
no,
people
not-
come with like a mayonnaise jar in their ass.
Oh, listen,
I'm like,
I've never had somebody come in with an animal-shaped
The
apparatus
best-
in a body orifice.
The best.
I have
thing-
had lots of other
well, that's what I
objects.
mean.
Yeah.
It's just as bad,
Call
isn't
them
it?
Saturday night specials.
Barbie doll heads,
Oh my!
Barbie
cigar
doll heads?
holders.
Yes.
Wow.
I read
Like-
an article about a guy that had a pin in his junk.
Vibrators that are still on.
Oh, we
that's
seen this
nice.
dude. Well,
What?
Trish met this guy.
That's a bumpy
I
ride
met
to the
a guy-
hospital.
A
The
fun
guy
one
that-
too.
The guy that,
Bazinga.
the guy that liked to have things being stuck down his thing. Yeah.
I mean, I've met a lot of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
in the
I
business,
mean, I thought we were weird, but I guess we're not.
apparently they call it sounding for people.
Oh,
that don't
right,
know-
right, right,
yeah,
right, right.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah, yeah.
sounding?
Is
The
when you
dude that
stick-
did my foot tattoo did that.
Yeah, people that like to put stuff down
Oh,
their
I can
junk.
finish my say.
It's
Okay.
called sounding.
I thought it was called
Yeah.
a catheter.
Well, no, it's just not necessarily catheters that they like to be put down there.
Yeah, they like metal rods,
And-
etc.
yeah, yeah. There's a whole like.
No, I've seen that. I saw that at Secrets.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
No judgment. I
Yeah.
just, for me,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think,
not a finger.
I'm
pointer.
judging.
Not a finger.
what are
pointer.
you,
Yeah,
what are
me
you,
neither.
what, how bored are you?
Maybe like the tip of a tongue. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you know.
okay.
Well, no,
but,
there are
you
certain
know.
nerve endings in there that will
Or
get
you get, like,
stimulated.
Yeah.
Wrap your tongue around it.
Yeah, but
like
how do you,
that.
how do you
Wrap your
know
tongue
that?
around-
I guess you just.
Well, you know,
What? A
some
metal
people
bar?
find out. I just don't know. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like the first person that licked a frog and got high off of it or something.
that's true.
Yeah.
You know, who thinks about that type of shit? Like,
Yeah,
I have
We talk
no-
about
I'm not
that
gonna
just
lick
with
a frog.
food. Like,
Drugs
you're-
are
who
bad.
looked at a crab and said, "I think I'm going to crack this
that thing
open
looks
and eat
delicious. Yeah,
Eat it.
native.
Nobody
I do
thought
think
that."
crabs are delicious.
I
They are
agree.
delicious. That's
I
why
know.
the first person that did it was like, "You're not going to fucking believe this."
it. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
See
So
what
we're gonna
happened?
have to
That's
go
what it is. So
on
what
like a
happened?
family
that-
vacation
you know-
and eat crabs.
You know,
Oh yeah.
you know, it's funny as shit. We just did a presentation that we have like all these non-disclosure agreements that we can't talk about, but we could talk about when we did the presentation was great because I'm doing the presentation and the people are like, "Man, that who would think about doing such a thing?" And like I go, you know that at some point, some dude was in front of a crowd going, "I came up with this shit," and you just type in a name and then it brings up all these suggestions, and it's like we're gonna call it Google.
Yeah. Hey, I remember we
No
were
way.
Yeah.
we watch this is
Hey.
this is not a compliment to myself, but we
Yeah.
watch Big Bang Theory. It's like her
Yeah.
bedtime show sometimes,
yeah.
and ever since
We
we
love
started
that
watching
show.
it, she calls me Sheldon. Ever since we started watching
Oh,
it,
yeah.
Yes.
for so many
He is
reasons.
totally Sheldon.
Oh yeah.
But when they
Oh my God!
Yes.
Hey,
You didn't even
but,
realize
you know,
it.
I'll
did
take it as
you?
a compliment.
yes, sir.
He's a smart guy. But I remember when there were dozens of browsers that you probably don't remember that.
Mr. Jeeves, remember
Mr.
that?
Jeeves. Oh, Mr.
Ask you, ask you.
Lycos.
AskGeesMama.com. I
Yeah.
remember
Which one?
Firefox is still kind of
Mama.com.
Mama, I don't
Like,
remember
if
that.
you go to mama.com, you're getting a whole different kind of thing if
yeah,
you're going
yeah.
there
Right
now.
now you
yeah.
will.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was he names a bunch of them.
Lycos.
Of course, I can't come up with it
Remember that
now,
one?
but it was
Yeah.
like when everyone had like
South of the
AOL. Remember
South.
the AOL disc
Yeah,
that you had
yeah.
limited
Is that
time
from south of the
online?
border?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
remember
he
stuff in there?
knows
Yeah.
a lot
And if you were
of
watching,
what's on that
if you were
show.
pulling up questionable stuff on the internet, it came in like one line at a time.
Yeah.
So you didn't know if it was going to be like a picture of a girl or like a tree.
You're like, oh, black cock.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
I got
wait
one of those
for it.
today.
You know,
Yeah.
part of the rescue company wants shit,
Yeah.
and this is the shit that you would know
The
this.
difference is you got it
You
immediately.
would know this.
That's
Yeah.
true, I did.
Like every
It
time
was
you
so
know.
offensive.
Let's say you have a baby and it comes out on the group text.
Oh,
Like for
sure.
for the company, you know, congratulations.
Oh, do we do that?
We send out a black cock. You know what I mean? That's how like our aloha.
sure.
Hello, how you doing?
I feel like I'm really missing out on all the black cocks that are going around.
Well,
are.
you got to be on the group text. Yeah. So and then like
Do
and
I
then
need
like
to,
you know
I
like
guess I need to add her to the group text.
and then you fuck up, you get a black dick. You know what I mean? We just send these out all
I
the time
mean,
randomly. So it's
I
like, you
feel
know,
like I need to
hello, how are you? Bye. You know, it's everything. So but the
Happy
reason
Father's
for
Day.
that is that like you're never more than like 3 clicks away on a search from getting a black dick,
It's like the Kevin Bacon game. It's
Yes,
like
sir.
the
It's like the
6
Kevin-
degrees of.
which is my favorite game in
Yes.
the whole entire world. I am great at it.
Oh, I'm terrible at
I
it.
am fucking great at it.
Really?
I see you.
That's because
Thinking.
you must remember
So,
actors' names
Here's
in
the
every
one we
movie.
got from
Yeah.
Mike today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What a
yeah.
black dick or a 6 degrees?
Well, see, this is the thing. See, Mike is a rule breaker. Clearly,
Mike is
he
a rule
broke the
breaker.
rule.
Oh,
This is the other one I got today.
Okay. That's more what I pictured than
Yes,
the other
yes,
one.
not the other.
yes.
So I've seen a few, so I've
It's Johnny's picture comes by and somebody's flashing like a black hawk picture.
yeah.
So,
So the second picture is definitely more.
Wait,
of
whoa,
what,
whoa, whoa,
you know,
did it come up on the
is
screen?
my
No.
warehouse.
Oh, did it?
I'm
No.
asking you.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
wasn't
think
paying
so.
I don't
attention.
know.
I don't think so.
Wait a minute, is the camera on her?
Yeah.
I
Then
don't
yeah.
think so.
Oh man.
Oh man,
Patricio's going to jail.
we're getting thrown out for YouTube.
Are we in trouble?
Pull something else up on your screen and do it again. We'll see if it comes up.
No, I don't think it did. I think she flashed. She was above it.
Be careful. Be careful what comes
Yes.
No, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Something.
gonna
She's still
change-
scrolling.
She's gonna do something in it. She's innocent. She's 22 pictures in.
Just show your
scrolling.
home screen.
Oh, it totally
Nah,
came up on
I
the
don't. Did it? I don't see
Like
it.
for a
I don't
second.
see it.
It's
Try
like
it
the
again.
side of the.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
second.
Fast again.
No, my ex one time when we were doing
You'd
a
have to
Facebook
pause it.
Live,
Like a
she
split
was
second.
adjusting her her
Like-
shirt and she had shown her bra, and immediately we got flagged by Facebook.
Yeah, they get you. They
Wow.
get you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Facebook. I did not mean to do
It's an
that.
algorithm.
I
My
would like
Jason
to.
says no cock pics.
We were showing that for medical reasons.
What did Jason say?
Yes.
No cock pics.
That was a medical. Yeah, you were showing up
Yeah.
medical reasons.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Exactly what that
And
was.
but however, for just the Facebook people out there,
That
you're,
is
you're gonna get
a
2
penis
minutes.
that will still take a Foley.
2 minutes.
But I have had one that won't.
Oh, let me tell you about this. I was witness to that. That whole
What was
Yeah,
this?
Jason right there is no Cox, please. No
So you
Cox
know-
pics.
we
No
No
have
Cox
to
cock
pics.
pics.
we have to put catheters in people sometimes
Yeah.
to get their urine out.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And like those,
Sometimes they don't fit.
they're 12 inches long. These tubes that we put in. The
Are
people.
they?
Yeah, it's 12 inches. We measured this. And
I
when
don't
you
measure 'em.
when you have
Are they
about,
different diameters?
Wait, they don't
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
you need more.
What?
oh yes,
You need more.
Yes.
so
yeah,
we had,
I've seen a couple of those in my
we
life
had
actually.
we had
Hey, don't talk about me. Right now.
yeah
Allegedly.
allegedly we're working at this ER and a special needs kid comes in like he's like a 13 some odd years old. We got to put a catheter in this kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
And it's me and like 2 other people in there and like I'm like that ain't fitting. And resting.
Are they different? When I say diameter,
Yeah,
like,
the girth. Yeah, the girth is different, but the
how do you pick which girth you need?
that's a good point there because we haven't offered any educational points today
Oh,
here.
now
Yeah,
we're
let's-
gonna
let's
get
be educated.
So
let's
Oh, there's
assume
the
they're
baby.
let's assume they're all the same length. But how do you pick which girth?
so
you need?
what we normally do is what
Generally,
I do.
it's always like a 16%. That's
So-
generally what.
But
they
why
just
would you
make.
go
That
bigger
would-
or smaller?
That would not help
That's a-
anybody taking
I
a
know.
flight medicine exam. So let's give them the good flight medicine exam question in there.
Yes.
So if you're so the best way to get the size is to take the tube that would normally go into their throat, and how we would figure that out for a kid would be 16 plus the age divided by 4. And when you get that tube
Oh,
size,
math.
you get that tube size, so it's like a 4-year-old is a size 5.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
you could get a PD wheel and it will tell you.
Yes, baby, we'll get there and we'll sell that. See, I was gonna get to that point, but you're in a 2-minute time frame where you can't even speak on the microphone right now. So, Jim,
Oh, thank you.
can we just get one? Yes, and
7 cherries.
yes,
Oh, yeah, we
cherries.
need some cherries with
Ma-
the stems.
we got this maraschino cherry tying thing going on right now. Yeah, are you in on this game?
Yeah, that's why I said 7.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be tying anything with my tongue, but I can high five a flag man with it like nobody's mother. If you're wondering. so 16 plus the age divided by 4. Let's say it's a 4-year-old kid. We get a size 5. 2 times 2 will give you your gastric tube size and your Foley size. So if it's a size 5 times 2, it would be 10 French.
I don't know
That's
what
the
he's saying right
diameter.
now.
From 9/11 to
He's
Dick
saying
jokes
that.
to
But
a
I'm
lesson plan.
curious.
I love it.
I'm sincerely curious
Usually I
because
can do math.
That's how we would
for
normally
a
pick it.
full-grown man, the
16 or 18.
hole is different diameters. I'm sure.
16 or
Not
18.
so much.
Not
No?
so much. It'll spread.
Okay.
16
It
or
will
18.
spread.
It'll spread.
However,
it's
If you have to have
pliable.
like
It's pliable.
irrigation, they're bigger.
yeah, they're a little bit bigger.
A little bit, they're a lot bigger.
They're a lot bigger. So they will spread.
What's
Nobody likes that.
irrigation?
Cleaning it out.
Yeah, just putting.
Like,
if you're gonna need to put a lot of fluid into it versus getting fluid out of it, you
Yeah.
get a
You get
larger
both.
diameter.
That's to clean the bladder out, correct?
Yeah, for whatever reason. You need
Gotcha.
Bleeding.
So you know,
Bleeding,
but we
blood,
get
clots.
yeah. So we get this
Okay,
kid though
okay,
that
okay.
one time, and he had a 14-incher at rest. At rest,
How old was he?
he was like 13, 14, special needs person. He's never gonna use it.
Also, even
Never gonna use it.
okay,
And-
just let me tell you, as a woman, and I don't know if I speak for most women,
You
but
might.
He might use
I
it with himself.
that it's not fun. I've had very, very large ones, and it's not fun. It's like
trying to make you feel
it's
good.
like it's like a party joke.
I thought we weren't.
Like,
I thought we
did
weren't
that,
talking. I thought we weren't
you
talking
know-
politics tonight.
That's a
Only,
true story.
a portion, gets to have fun. You know what I mean? And I feel
Yeah.
bad for the guys because it's like, really, does it?
Oh man, I would
Most
show it to
women
everybody.
that does
It
not
would be-
happen.
Well, it's like
walking around
Tommy
with
Lee.
no
Tommy
pants
Lee
on
was famous for
every-
that.
Yes.
But then when you see
It's
the
a
video of
it's a
him and
party. It's
Pam,
for the
they're
parties.
Yeah.
It's like
you can't use half of it.
Yeah, half of it's still taken out. What's that?
No, sir.
So I'm asking about that, not to get too personal on here,
Yeah.
but I have to get a procedure this year, and so when they're talking, she's talking. Well, for irrigation, I'm like, oh my god, I don't need that.
Listen,
thank
man,
God.
don't think about
I
it.
just need a regular
Don't think
one.
about it.
Don't think about it.
You'll be fine. You'll be on meds.
Yeah, but I got to keep a
You'll be on
regular one for
meds.
like 3 days.
It'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, you'll be all right. Though.
Yeah, I'll
You'll
be
be
drugged
okay.
up.
Right, a regular
You're gonna
what?
be. You're
Catheter.
gonna
Oh.
be asleep when they put it in. You won't even feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for 3 days, I'm not going to be asleep.
I
You
know,
don't feel
but
it when
once
it's
it's in,
in.
it's not as bad. From
No.
what they
Hey.
tell me.
You know, my
Yeah.
doctor
I
told
don't
me.
know. I don't have a
My
penis,
doctor said
but
bring a
had
computer or some video games or something.
Allegedly.
like when I
Allegedly.
you have to have a
Allegedly.
catheter when you have babies.
Right. I had
Hey,
it.
What?
listen, man. Y'all can put
It
some
didn't
stuff
bother
in
me.
there. Oh, but a lot of stuff gets put in there.
That's
I mean,
what-
that's
It's
true.
not different. I
That's,
mean,
that's why when you talk
No,
about
that's not-
sounding, it's not my bag. Man.
yeah, no, hey,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Dan. Like I'm with you. I'm not down for that. I mean, I'm not putting a finger. Somebody's having fun for that shit, but
You're putting a finger where?
I'm just not putting a finger. I'm pointing a finger at the
pointing.
people.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
neither.
Pointing.
You know, and
pointing.
then
Now you were
one-
putting fingers in there
Now
now.
put fingers.
Hey,
I thought that's what he was saying. Okay.
no,
Yes.
some people may.
Well,
allegedly like
you've
that.
never had a finger in your bum?
No, you're not talking about your bum.
We're not talking
Oh.
about your bum.
penis.
And
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
also.
Okay, I was trying to do like the Letterkenny thing.
You know, however, you know, like it's funny when people say like you watch the Tommy Lee video though. You're right.
Yeah.
Like most of that dick ain't inside.
But I do remember the 80s when he was famous for showing that shit
Oh
everywhere.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like hey,
the
had a du-
showpiece.
we had a dude at the fire. We've had a few dudes at the fire
Oh
department.
yeah, I
one dude,
remember that.
one dude would sit at a sink, and like that thing would be in the sink, and he'd be sitting in there like he's brushing his teeth, and he goes, "It was thirsty." He was just sitting in there. Like how long was that dude in there brushing his teeth, waiting for somebody to come
Waiting
in the
for a
door?
joke, right?
Yeah. The other part was the other dude that would walk around. He goes, "Hey, what time is it? I'm trying to set my watch."
Oh
and he's
my
got
god.
this thing wrapped around his wrist.
Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
Seriously, it's
We've all been to the gym.
Seriously,
That's the guy on the
I had a
couch
few
watching
friends that
TV
used
all
to see it
spready.
often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what?
absolutely.
They need to
Oh,
What'd you say? They need to see a
I
doctor.
said I had a few friends that used to see it often.
yes, yeah, allegedly,
I never did.
yeah. Thank God.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I have, and
It's
I'm like,
impressive.
I'm like,
I've heard it was impressive.
I'm like,
I've
that's not
seen
gonna
it.
work, but we can try for fun.
Well, it's like a baby.
you know,
it's
and
like
then
a
you can buy me breakfast
Yeah.
after it doesn't
It's like
work.
a baby's
So
arm with an
let's go.
apple in his hand.
yeah, it's
That's
like
how
a
it's gonna-
baby's arm
that's how it's
holding a
gonna
Red
go.
Delicious, right? Normally would be that, but this dude's dick is like a toddler's arm holding a bag of apples.
So
That's
welcome
like-
back to the
Yeah,
rotor as the rotor turns.
Oh man, yo, we probably should end this.
Did
thing
you want
right
to go
here
back to
real quick.
politics?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Never.
Hey, you know-
were we ever on politics?
I
No.
hope not.
You know, this week I had to allegedly go work at the fire department because I ain't showing
That's
up.
why your face is naked.
Yeah, I had to shave. I had to shave. And
Oh, is that a rule?
But
Is
the
that-
stubble,
yeah.
it does good things for me.
Well,
You like the
it's
stubble?
I do.
It's
Yeah.
back.
so we're back to that topic
yes,
again.
hello, it's a pretty puppy.
That is a pretty puppy.
So,
It is.
He
so,
is a cute puppy.
I had to
You want
go in
another
there, and the
No.
funniest thing is this week.
You're not giving.
So I get in there. I haven't been there 2 months because I work there part time.
Okay.
I'm supposed to show up like once a week. They don't make me. And
Once a week.
I grew up.
Too much.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I ain't been there like 2 months, and then I show up and we have to go training. First of all, they called me a few days early. I had to like dig out all my shit that I ain't put on in like months. And then when I get there, I have to go do this training thing, you know. And so we do this training thing was like if a firefighter is injured inside, we do this thing called RIT team, which is the rapid intervention team. So you're like the people got to go in there and search, find the firefighter that's down, and like drag them out.
Right.
And I say this because as I'm sitting in the training, like there's a lot of stuff that's being said with the people that are running the show, and like I don't shut the fuck up Fridays all the fucking time, you know. I don't say shit. when I'm in there. But there's so many times that people like say things during a training and they've never seen it in real life. You know, like they've never like drug out somebody out of a house fire or something, like, or like search the house looking for somebody where you run into people. You know?
So they say things like not questions, but just comments on
they're
it.
Teaching things that are not realistic.
That they haven't experienced.
Yeah, they're not. It's not realistic. Again, I don't say a fucking thing. I go in there, do my shit, and we go in there and do the shit, and we get out really fast.
Yeah.
And then the dude saying, you know, when you would do, you like commented on the way I was doing it, and I was like, yes, sir, no problem. We'll do it this time. Like you said, you know, and then I walk away. There's a dude that's teaching the class that I went to fire school with, and he goes, "Do you know who that fucking guy is?" And he goes, and I won't say my cousin's name. My cousin works for the county, and he's like, he goes, "That's that dude's cousin," and like that guy's actually like pull people out of house fires and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and
right.
And when he says that, you know, I don't say shit, and the guy comes up to me after, he goes, "Why didn't you say something when I was saying something in front of you yesterday?"
You're the one teaching me.
They shut the fuck up Friday. I said, listen, man, you're teaching the class. I don't say shit.
So I have a question though. How are you qualified to teach the class if you haven't done that?
Well, these people put in
That's a good question.
Put in their time, and they teach them theory.
Okay.
And a lot of times when you teach theory, it's true. You know, like, you know, a lot of times they teach you in the house fire, you want to crawl in and do all that stuff.
They know the science behind it.
Yeah, the science behind it. But the reality is, if I find a person inside a house fire and I have to crawl and drag that person out, that's not realistic. It's if it's that fucking hot where I'm crawling to bring the person out, then that motherfucker ain't gonna make it out.
You got to pick him up and get on your.
We'll get him after we put this fucker out.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't making it. But
Yeah.
if you're dragging somebody out, like, you know, the reality is you're gonna grab them and go.
Yeah, they're teaching the science, not the reality.
There's so much shit. You know,
the reality is the experience. Like, you're not going to know it until you actually.
And I don't mean any disrespect. That seems like
it's
maybe
so
I'm
crazy.
wrong. It seems like one of the few careers where you can teach something you've never actually done.
Absolutely,
they do the same with nursing.
Yeah, and then
well, it's similar, I guess.
Well, even military. You think about your sons learning how to aim at something and shoot it. It's not a real person.
I'm glad you said that, Angie, because that's where I'm going. You guys are great. I'm bringing you on the show all the time. So this is what I'm saying is, like, in my son's case, you sitting here, we've been at war for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got people that have shot at people.
Are those the people training?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the shit. So my son's unit, you know, where I felt bad, I was sitting there crying the other day. He's the only kid never been deployed. So everybody else in his unit's been to war. So, like, you know, wherever they're going, like, he's surrounded by experienced people.
That has to make you feel a little better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
But it's still, it's never, you never want them to experience that, right? I mean, we don't like war. We don't want people to have to go to it.
Yeah.
But it's not
those
the
boots
same.
are way too high. I just had to say that.
No, they weren't.
But you know what?
They wouldn't be if she knew how to walk in them.
For this hip, it would be. I'd be breaking it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But
you don't want them to experience it, but it's not the same until they do.
So the fire department, completely different.
Yeah.
And it's good to talk about this 9/11 coming up. I thought about this week. That happened to me Tuesday, and I'm sitting there doing this training thing, and people are, you know, talking about like the way it should be done. In reality, you know, I was privileged and lucky enough to be an Orlando fireman where we got to go to a lot more fires. We got to respond and have like good operating procedures, and you were trained to do this stuff. So like going in a house fire, running into a person and pulling them out wasn't like abnormal. You know what I'm saying? But there's areas that don't do that, where they have to rely on what they think is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have the resources to always be taught by someone that's done it. And I don't mean to sound like this because, as I said, when you guys were on our show, the jobs that you have, you know, make our job seem so silly, you know, IT or whatever. But I guess a similar theme that can run across any job to me, and I don't want to sound like I'm the guy that's like getting trained and thinking, who the fuck is this guy while he's training me? But there's an element of that sometimes where if no matter what someone does, if they've done it in real life, the respect that you have for them and for what they've learned in the field, whether it be IT or military or whatever, you're focusing, you're learning. But if they just read a book, I'd be less inclined to. It's like there's a certain level of maturity for you to be able to go, yes, sir, we'll do it next time. Even though the guy,
you have to respect that. That's a person that's an officer. He's an instructor at the time.
Sure.
And for me, I wasn't raised to open my mouth when I'm,
Yeah, and I
somebody else
don't.
talking.
Don't get me wrong, but in my head sometimes I'm like,
Oh,
"Does this guy done this?"
I'm saying that shit in my
He's
head.
saying in his head, "It's shut the fuck up Friday."
Yeah,
Carlos.
and
Shut the,
Shut the
I
fuck
say
up
it every
Friday.
day, all the
Yeah.
time. Every day I'm at work, I'm like,
But
Yeah.
wait,
shut the fuck up
it's,
Friday.
But
but
when
wait,
you-
it's
but-
only
but-
shut the fuck up
Tuesday.
Friday.
Well, I feel
Shut the fuck
that
up,
I
Friday.
feel that
Don't say
it's
fucking anything.
it's more of a like choosing your battles kind of thing because
Maybe, but I guess
Yeah.
if you let me ask you this: when you're being trained by someone that's been boots on the ground, isn't your perception different if you know that?
Something, Dan, is interesting you ask that. Reality, it isn't.
No.
It's not. And and it's just that, that person's put in time to get to be qualified to teach.
Yeah, maybe
Right?
that's the difference.
And
Maybe
I
that's
and
the
I
difference.
have to respect that in the sense of whether that person's done that or not.
Yeah.
That's my boss for the day. That's
Sure.
who's telling me to do stuff.
That's
And I
very.
think that's
and,
the profession you're in:
Yeah.
law enforcement, firefighters, EMS.
I was going to say it's a little different. Yeah.
It's the order. It's keeping things in order.
Yeah.
Plus the amount of training the amount of training that goes into what you guys do and the intent behind what you do is a little bit different. And I don't want to sound like I can't be that way because I've been trained on technical stuff where I don't really know if this person has done the stuff they're trying to teach me, and I still am respectful.
Absolutely.
But I've also been in situations where I almost know they don't necessarily know what they're talking about, and that's hard for me.
I speak up in situations where somebody's gonna die or get hurt.
That's different. That's what I'm
Like
saying. Your
if
jobs
I
are
think
different.
it's gonna make a
Yeah.
difference, and I'm like, sir, if you don't mind me saying so,
Shut the fuck up Friday.
But most of the time
Yeah.
on some shit, I just shut my mouth on it.
Yeah.
I always get in trouble for that.
And this, you do.
I know.
You do.
Well, if someone's going to get hurt, you can't not say
Yeah.
something, right?
Trish has word vomit.
Yes.
Listen, I
She doesn't
generally.
know how to shut the fuck up Friday.
That's not true. I do. But I do say something,
But
when,
only on Fridays.
It's important.
Yeah.
And then I still.
Oh, no,
get
she
trouble
brings
for
up
it.
great.
So real quick, I
Nurses are in the trenches like crazy, though.
I feel that starting next week, we shouldn't have an ass cam, but we should have a reaction cam because the faces that everyone makes
Oh my
when
gosh.
they walk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I want a sign that says,
Yeah.
yes,
Restrooms.
you can go to the bathroom.
No, and it's
Yes.
funny because like I'll watch.
You should have like a picture of a girl in the toilet and a boy peeing and like
Yes.
that way.
Well, no, because like they walk over to the bathroom area and it clearly says like if you're looking on the screen
Men
right
and
now,
women.
it says women in big
It does.
bold black.
Can I just say, as the old man here, when I went over to those
Oh, yeah, he
bathrooms,
couldn't find it
the
either.
doors blended into the walls. I was about to pee in the corner.
Really?
That.
And also the reactions because like Carlos is saying black cock.
Oh yeah. Walking around there.
Patricia, this is what you need. You need Trisha to have a picture of random stuff up when people come through.
Just random.
Let's do it.
That would
Hey.
be amazing.
No, because I love
I'm gonna
I
get
love the
posters
And
judge-
of
then when they act weird,
Big
go, "What are you doing,
flashlights.
dude? It's a medical podcast. Relax."
I can't hear you. What'd
Oh, you can't.
The one thing I do want to say though, as we begin to close, is this. And while I was bringing up the whole thing, is
It's been
that
2 hours.
that day on 9/11, was you watch these, if you watch any of the videos or any of the things, is you watch those guys go up into the stairwell. Nobody questions it, and every single one of those firefighters going up when everybody else was coming down understood exactly what they were getting into.
Yeah.
And it's I've been lucky enough to be part of a profession where people don't ever question that shit. Like they absolutely go into the shit that they understand, like, hey, this ain't perfect, and they go into it. I've been on the podcast before. I learned how to scuba dive as a firefighter. So when I remember going to Mexico for the first time and being underwater where you could see shit, like I go, oh, you can see shit underneath these. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's because when you learn how to dive in a shitty ass pond in the city of Orlando to hook a car or go look for a body or some shit, you don't
Different.
understand that there's, diving where you can see
It's like enjoyable
stuff.
Like,
Yeah, and that's just the most amazing thing. For me, it's been a privilege.
Yeah.
And it's been a joy. That isn't the same thing anymore, and I see less and less of the career firefighter out there, and
see less and less of the career healthcare provider.
well,
yeah,
it's just
and we need more of that, and that's the thing. I feel like there is definitely
Here's the thing: it is hard work,
We need
and
it.
you don't necessarily get treated well very
No.
often. Like you see people
and that's
on
why I
the
say
worst
think
day.
of how you are when you're in the hospital. Like I know how I act when I'm in the hospital because I know how you guys are working. You know what I mean? I know what you're going through.
respectful.
But then you hear the person next to you and you like shut the fuck up. You know
Whenever-
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
I do know what you mean.
seriously.
Well,
Oh,
when you say you think of it as a privilege, I think, and maybe this is what you're saying, but there's probably less people that think of it that way.
Well,
True.
it's this is the question I wanted to pose to people for next week. Shit to think about before as we record is that how do you separate work and rest time?
Yeah.
And the newer generation that comes through, they don't choose to work extra hours. And
Yeah.
are they wrong or are they right?
I'm not the guy to ask
They're
because
not wrong.
I blur the line.
Time.
Yeah.
I'm never off
You
the
need
clock
your
if
personal
something's
time,
needed.
or you're gonna get burnt out.
Yeah.
I've seen my husband for 2 hours this entire week,
Yeah.
and he's not going to be home until maybe next Friday.
But but there's no balance either way. You know
Either
what I
way,
mean?
there
So
isn't.
there's like us who we're just like go go go. Like our generation is like go go go, and then the new generation is like, I just want to chill, man.
No,
just wanna
I
relax.
feel that
we
It's
need
different.
we need
It's
a
different
median,
for the
you know?
different kinds of jobs, though.
Yeah.
For your jobs,
is.
it's hugely important.
Yeah, it's more of like your upbringing because I mean you guys know like I'm doing 2 jobs right now. I don't have to. I want to. I enjoy it. I enjoy making more money. I enjoy the skill and I enjoy doing the job itself. There are just some people that like who I've met during this run at allegedly Universal Studios, where that's all that they're doing. Like that's their only bread and butter. And at the same time, it's like they're giving their bare minimum. And you're absolutely right. There's no initiative. There's no desire to go that extra mile to show your worth because apparently, and I'm sorry for saying it like this, it's like this generation right now, they're extremely valuable where they're at right now. There's no need to
absolutely.
excel or show their full potential.
They figured it out. And I'm gonna tell you where I stand on the situation is this. They're like,
It's like a whole nother
yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
though,
absolutely.
really.
And I know we
seriously.
gotta go.
Oh yeah.
So I know that this week when this kid that was in the belly, when the thing happened, and now on the anniversary of it, he has to go to unknown where.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you so many fucking times that I chose to like, hey, I'm gonna stay at work, get that overtime today, and I missed time with that kid.
Yeah.
That I would fucking, if I could go back in time, is the one thing I would change.
That's what I meant by the difference in your job
absolutely,
types.
man.
Because
Like-
some of us could be home and do our job. For you guys, it's a different thing.
Man, there's
I
a
want
lot
to
of
be home and do my job.
there's a lot of
But think about it like this.
You
Think of the generations before us.
I'm not
There was-
right now.
the generations before any of us here at this table is because there was a crisis. Like they needed you to work those extra hours.
Man,
where there was
who
the
ordered
assembly
those?
line
I did.
for jets, for weapons, for
But
vehicles. Like
Trisha,
there was
man, I chose a lot of times. I'm gonna tell you, man, like the one thing you can't get back is time, guys.
Yeah,
Amen.
we know.
You
Yeah.
can make a
Story.
shitload of money, you can remake money, you can do all that stuff, but the thing shit you can't get is time.
Yeah.
And this newer generation, people look at them, they talk to them about being lazier and stuff like that.
Jimmy, you want
No,
this?
you know what? They figured out the time factor.
Yeah.
They figured out what time was
This will make you feel
important.
better.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Carlos, if there's one thing good to come out of the virus, I feel like it's maybe that
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of people have
Absolutely.
learned that
Yeah.
they can work different. They don't have to be away from their family as
You
much.
look great, Patricia. It's okay.
Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah, you look good, baby.
Unless you're married to a paramedic, a firefighter, a nurse.
Exactly. That's
Their work hasn't changed.
No,
that's what I
They've
meant.
been there the
That's
whole
what I meant
time.
by the
It's
question.
increased.
The question needs to be very specific to your careers because
yeah.
that's different. That's always going to be different.
But I think other people have been able, that have been so absorbed in making money and getting,
Yeah.
moving up the ladder. Now they've had to take a step back. They've been forced to.
Yeah,
And they're
look
like,
back at it,
oh, wow, this is what
man.
this life
So all the
can be
people
like.
are moving and buying motor homes, and
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
man. It's a thing, man. It's something to talk about. So like
Yeah.
people can find us. What's our social local faces?
Did you
and all that
forget
shit?
all that,
The
Carlos?
rescue company one.
The rest of the company one.
What is it?
He doesn't social.
The rescue company
Yeah, I don't
one
do
on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and
Are you on the
YouTube
Are you on the
and-
TikTok yet?
Yeah.
The TikTok
Oh, we are.
or the Tim Tom,
Can I
as
tell
I
you,
used
this
to call
you
it.
have to
I
do
used
it
to call
because
the Tim
do
Tom.
need
we
to do
can I tell you,
TikTok.
we
Come on,
just
Trisha.
started doing it. and
Where's
it's-
our TikTok?
No.
We should start it at
No.
Echo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Okay.
You
So
you got so
there is-
many likes and follows. It's amazing. I am so happy for you guys.
Thank you,
It
but
really- it's
We
amazing.
got like almost 4 million
Views on one of our videos.
Oh, that's
but,
fucking
but
awesome.
but can I
That's
tell you?
Is it ours?
But
But
can
it
I?
was
No.
hilarious.
But can I tell you, it was just one of the videos, and as a result of that, all the other videos are 15, 20,000 because
That's
you have so many
awesome.
people following now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's you
What
got
did
to
you
do
do
it.
what did you do to get that?
We'll have to
Follow
show
over?
you. We'll have to show you after.
She
I
ran
can-
through the
I
house.
can
She
fall
showed
over.
us.
It's
I am
Right?
really
You were
good at
running,
following.
right?
hashtag
Yeah, he was running.
He was
hashtag
running.
Dan runs like a princess.
Yes.
Who's dressed like a
Hey,
princess?
where
He
can,
runs like a princess.
where
Need
can,
I can
later.
run like a princess.
where
Uh,
can people find you guys?
Fineanddanjee.com. So our podcast is a little different. We do it every week. We meet with local business owners, local artists, a lot of artists,
Yeah.
local interesting people like you guys. And
Yeah.
You guys are incredibly
Yeah,
interesting,
you guys
and
are
we
good.
love you.
well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Same for
You
sure.
guys took us to a
We are-
great Italian restaurant last week.
We got to go again.
Yes.
So we were gonna do a podcast last week, but it our dinner ran
It was like
kinda
a
late,
4-hour
and it was-
dinner. Yeah.
It was
It
so
was
good, though.
delicious.
It
And we
was so
chose
good.
food over this.
We did.
So I'm
Listen,
telling you,
this
if
is what
look, if
happens
we ever
when you
go
get
again,
older, though.
just
Like,
have a regular
it's-
dinner.
That's
It's like
a
an
true
hour.
story.
Yes. Yes. Just
What happened?
dinner.
But all their
Yes.
food is amazing.
Freaking
We just signed up for
Patricia
their.
ate for 2 people.
It
It was
And
the
he
greatest
ate my
thing.
fat.
Yeah.
And he ate my shrimp.
We just signed
Oh,
up for
yes.
their charcuterie class. Which
Oh
is
yeah.
coming up.
And when is that?
Do
Give
you-
Trisha dates. We'll go.
do you
I
know?
gotta send her the dates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
think it's
I wish I knew them by
21st,
heart,
but
By
I
the
don't.
way, I am a trained chef. I don't have to cook for
I know you told us about
Yeah,
it.
man.
He's going to be on the Kitchen Killers October
Hey,
22nd.
Oh, I
You guys
love
can
it.
come over if you want.
Oh,
I
we'd
went
love
to.
to.
What is it?
I
He
went.
makes
October
good
22nd.
empanadas.
That's,
So you know,
oh,
like-
that's October 22nd. That's the day after my birthday.
It
There
sure
you go.
is.
The big
Day
5
after
oh.
what day?
Birthday?
October
Big
21st is my
5-0.
birthday.
Oh, I
Big
thought you
5-0.
said Valentine's
have to,
Day.
have
No.
to take you to have to take you out. So you know, like I went to the therapy. You know, I go to therapist on Monday.
Yep.
And I was talking to them, and you know, I complain about Josh every time I'm there, like for a good 20 minutes of just he doesn't come over.
Did you say October?
October 22nd.
He doesn't
It's a
come
Friday.
over. It was supposed to be the day of Indog, baby, but we can't say.
Yeah, you're working.
Not yet.
She's using
Yeah.
paper and a pen.
I
Remember
I
that?
know.
Stand by.
Dan is about to have a heart attack
Oh,
because
yeah.
Trish has a paper
Yeah,
and,
Dan,
and
it's
pen
okay.
in her hand. Woo!
So,
He's having a
but
heart attack
Look at
over
it.
here.
You see it?
Oh yeah, you
See
can't.
how bright it is?
Yeah,
So-
if you lose that in the woods, the helicopter's gonna find it.
Yeah.
So what happened to the
Seriously.
therapist? You got to tell me.
so I'm sitting at the therapist and like
I love it.
for weeks I've been complaining, man. I'm like, because I invite Josh to come to the podcast and do stuff.
Right.
And he's sick, man. He can't leave his house.
Sure.
He can't leave his house. And
Shannon
do
made me
stuff.
get it.
And I'm telling a story, which is why you're no longer talking on the microphone. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Shannon.
So, and anyways, so Dan, so Bob, the therapist, this is the actual name. It's funny
Right.
as shit. Bob, the therapist. You know, he goes, you know, you could just go over there and see him if it bothers you that much. And I go, and it sounded so like profound because
Yeah.
it comes from I'm like, well, fuck you, Bob, for like telling like you know. And,
How dare you tell
Yeah.
me the truth? I
so
hate you.
So I went over there last night. We had a great time.
Oh,
You
that's
know, it's good-
awesome.
It's good to see him, man.
That is awesome.
good.
You guys should just show up with all the podcast gear one day.
We
Yeah.
should totally
Ain't no
just go
fucking
over
way,
there,
man.
like some
You lose it.
strangers.
Woody.
Call him,
Oh.
call him right now. See if
Yeah,
he'll
you
tell
lose
the
it.
story.
That's too bad.
He lose it. No way. He ain't picking up. He doesn't pick up. He knows that we're recording.
Ah.
So, and you know, this is the shit, man. Like this dude, like it's imagine like your mind going from this like individual is sitting up front of like thousands of people to talk, and then like you can't come talk on.
I can't
That's
imagine
I
it.
can't
shit,
imagine
man.
either.
That's the
We had
speed
that
of
But,
shit.
conversation.
but that
We
speaks.
had that conversation last night.
Yeah.
But then
about how-
we talked about it on our show too. But that speaks to how intense this job is.
Man, I'm telling you, man, this dude, like, is the greatest thing you ever seen. But like for me, that was pure therapy last night, man,
Yeah.
being there. So,
Oh, that's
Right.
awesome.
but we've been at this shit for a while. Patricia,
Shot.
you got anything else for the shot? And we'll
All right, last shot. We're
Yeah.
saying goodbye,
All right,
Bye.
cheers.
and then we'll talk off the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
Everybody say
'Cause I should
Uber.
have another one.
No,
I didn't order it. Let me just tell you that.
damn it.
That's a pretty sweet shot.
I got
Yeah.
to. All right, so real quick. The views and everything I'm going to say right now do not reflect the views of Carlos, Trish, Amanda, Dan and Anjee. This is literally just me. This is my final thought, and I'm gonna give it over to Carlos after this. But like, yesterday, President Biden gave a speech in regards to the rules and regulations that's going on with the COVID vaccinations for employers and all across the country right now. Honestly, if you work in the medical field, if just take your vaccination, please. Stop putting people at risk. Help flatten the curve. Do your part. Suck it up. Believe me, it hurts for a little bit. You can have a fever for a couple days. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical expert. I'm just saying, just do it.
Let me just tell you, this variant is way worse than the regular COVID was.
Oh.
And it is killing people faster than COVID, like the original COVID did.
Yeah, this is the remix.
It is.
There's
the
a third
remix,
one
and
coming
it is
too.
Scary,
It's
and
always worse.
I have to tell you, I wanted my booster faster than probably most people.
No, I was on the Colbert show yesterday on 104.1. Giving my opinion on the subject, and
Jim,
yes,
very nice. Dirty
and
Jim.
yes, Dirty Jim. And my mom got COVID again for the second time.
Yeah, people are.
Now she's in a nursing home.
Wow.
She doesn't go out,
Oh.
so it's because staff or
Are bringing it.
someone is bringing it into the facility, putting elderly people at risk. And I have all the faith in the world that she's going to come pull through with it. But like, just do your part. Just do your part. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's definitely, man. You gotta try to think about others. When you do shit. So it's one of those things.
Sometimes we have to be selfless.
Yeah.
I haven't taken care of anybody like probably in the last month that has been really sick that has been vaccinated. I have taken care of people that are really sick that probably are not going to make it that have not been vaccinated.
That's
You know,
and I think it's really important for people to hear that.
Hold on one second. I can't hear
Okay.
anything you say.
I think that's very important for people.
Hold on one second. I can't hear anything. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Go
I
ahead.
think that's
Hold
very,
on one second. No, I'm
Stop.
just kidding.
I think that's so
Yeah.
important for people to hear from somebody. Seriously. Stop peeing. Stop peeing. You right now.
That's what's
Stop
important.
peeing.
yeah,
it.
it's a big thing.
Yeah, I think it's important for them to hear from somebody that's working in
Yeah, I
the
do too.
field because so many people are just like, oh.
I do too. And have you
Like-
seen? I saved all these screenshots from the reports because I don't get into this debate either. But the
People-
reports that Florida Hospital and Advent Health they released these charts. So the reports were converted to charts that shows the amount of people that are currently in ICU because of COVID and what percentage of those people are vaccinated
And it's low.
and the people on a ventilator and what percentage of and it is
I'll
tiny.
tell you, at some local hospital that maybe somebody in this room works at or not,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Thank you.
I think I was told like 96% of the patients that were hospitalized are unvaccinated.
Right, and the ones that are, my guess is
Are not
they're
that sick.
the ones that are in the hospital or in ICU, they're vaccinated. My guess is, and you might speak to this, they have other major health problems.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah, and
Like I
hey,
have
listen
taken
to-
care of one kind of sick vaccinated patient in the last month.
everybody's got to
One.
look at the facts, look and make the best informed decision.
That's right.
And that's the reality. Of
I
things.
totally agree.
Just don't ignore data.
Yeah,
Science.
absolutely. Numbers really don't lie. Like there ain't really nothing. As healthcare workers, we could tell you there's
The only
really
number
sick
that
people.
lies is a fake phone number that you get at the bar.
Yeah,
but it's
well,
not. But,
as
but
Jason
there's-
said, though,
yeah.
the way he got, earned the fire chief's respect is those numbers.
numbers, man. They
right?
mean
There's
something,
numbers don't lie.
And like I
numbers
can tell
show.
you, man, like there's a lot of sick people. A lot of people are not making it.
They
And,
can't,
and at
like-
the end of the day, like this is the one thing I do want to say, babe, to end the debate so we can get off this thing here in a second. Because I know you can go on for this for a while. But this is the thing. I got my vaccination pretty early.
I did not.
Trish has had it.
I waited.
Everybody around me has gotten it. And I haven't been sick.
Good
You and
for
I
you.
got our
But-
vaccine on the same day. Our
Yes,
first
but I
one.
believe you
So,
were
did,
already
so did
sick.
we, but we
I
did
was.
wait. Yeah.
I'm going
I
on
believe
21
you. I had
months that I
already-
haven't had a cold.
So I was already
Wow.
exposed.
I think
when
you were. Yeah.
I got my vaccine.
Yeah, and I wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
but I got it, and I haven't been sick, and I've been pretty exposed.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
one of my guys is this. One of my guys just got it, went through it. No, he didn't have the vaccine.
Like
2
weeks ago.
Yeah, and we were drinking from the same shit. We're doing shots from the same thing the day, a few days before he was sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But we all know that some of us do have
Yeah.
superior immune systems. I
Right.
mean,
I'm pretty sure it was a vaccination that
Yeah.
made it that
Yeah,
way.
but you know,
Yeah.
hey, this is the thing, man. Make informed decisions out there, guys. And
Yes.
do you the best for others, and
yes,
definitely try to be the safest you can, and try to,
and be selfless.
Yeah.
That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
Be selfless.
absolutely.
It's not about you. It's
It's
about the
not.
whole, right?
Yes.
It is.
If you are,
It's always about the
how I
whole.
like to say is like if you are a
You couldn't
patriotic,
find it earlier.
if you're a patriotic person,
Couldn't
right?
find the hole. Go ahead.
See why I take a microphone away,
You
Dan?
see what happens
You're gonna have to
at
take
the
it
end
away
of
from
the
me too,
night?
bro.
Yeah, no,
Is-
you're fine.
If you're like a patriotic person and you're about like us as a whole as a country, then we want everybody to be healthy and and safe,
Absolutely.
right? So I
Hey.
think that's a big thing to take
Yeah.
away from it.
That's it on my part. Thank you for letting me talk.
Yeah, no worries, man.
With a
Thank you.
Yes, fine and
That's,
dangy.
Yeah, fine and
It's
dandy.
all fine and dangy.
It's all fine and dangy.
This
Oh,
girl,
wait, hey,
all right, this
we
girl's
need-
got to
love you.
pee.
We got
Like a
Dan-
You're gonna
Dan-
have to come on again soon.
We
We'd
will.
love to. This
Hey,
was
man.
super fun.
everybody out there. Appreciate it, and hey, go for it, sir. Bye.
Bye.